Welcome to the Guild. We have been expecting you. Please, follow me.
Hello, and welcome to our very latest episode of Night Quest. I am CMoney, and I am joined by my homie Pharaoh Bazaar, but he right now just had to go back, and he'll be out in a few seconds. I need you guys to bear with me. I've been, we had a great holiday. Thanksgiving was fire. I hope you guys had a very, very happy Thanksgiving if you celebrated in the States, obviously. And we had a great time, man. Weekend was awesome, but I got taken down. I'm pretty sick. So I'm feeling, I'm kind of just getting by, but it's been a week. I want to chill with the homies, so I wanted to make sure we could come out and rock out. And then I saw the news. I was like, oh, this is cool. Let's go talk about this. So yes, we are going to talk about PlayStation, which seemingly seems to be following Xbox again. Steam on PlayStation 6 exposed. Yes. Oh, Pharaoh's back. Pharaoh, what is up, my man? Thank you for being here.
Nothing much. How's it been going? Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Hope you had a happy holidays for those watching from the United States. So, yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's definitely good time overall. Obviously with the holiday and stuff, we haven't had a show since last Tuesday, so it's been a week. So, we want to go ahead and jump in now. Pharaoh, have you seen the news at all about the hip hop gamer coming out and saying that it's official, confirmed 100% the PlayStation 6 will have Steam as well? Did you see any of that?
Yes, I saw it. And I saw, people were running with it. It'll be interesting if that is the case. I will say that much.
Listen, Hip Hop Gamer has said a lot of different things.
Yes.
And some of them may not have come true. But others have, right? Others have. And he predates a lot of the other rumors that are out there. He does them all with his videos, and then once the rumor gets proven right, he'll post a video showing when he actually talked about it. So, listen, he's talked about plenty of things that have been true, plenty of things that haven't, or at least haven't been true yet, right? But that doesn't mean that we're not going to talk about it, because obviously all the fanboys are looking at it now, and you can see them all freaking out, bro. It's so funny. It's definitely a good time, definitely going to be worth having the conversation. That being said, though, you know how we do here, man. Before we get into any of that fun stuff, we want to go ahead and shout out everybody who's live in the building. Number one, thank y'all for rocking out with us. Appreciate y'all. Remember, we do have that split format now where it's on the regular YouTube and then it's on the shorts or on mobile. So like, look at your screen. If it looks normal, then you're on the normal view. If it looks like it's meant for a phone, then you're on the phone view, right? So it's very easy to tell. So if you're in one and you want to be in the other, whatever the case, you can flip-flop. But point is that we appreciate all of you guys for rocking out with us. But of course, we do want to go ahead and shout out our supporters over on YouTube and on our Patreon supporters and on YouTube. And of course, we do have our YouTube elite members. We have the homie Big Boy Mike, Dark Angelic, and Queen Witch. And then we have our inner circle members. We have the homie Pragmatic Eagle, Hargy Chani, and Marvelous Marvin. Now we have updated the November champs. That's right. For the month of November, most top threes was our boy Be Nice. Most first super chats, returning champ, our boy Dark Angelic. Biggest super chat was tied between Mad Leprechaun and Marvelous Marvin. Most biggest super chats also tied between Mad Leprechaun and Marvelous Marvin. And then top 3 most gifted subs was from our homies Bounty, Hargy Chani, and then there was a tie for third with Lord Starkiller XSX and our boy Ryu Art. And then the most subs gifted at once was another tie between Bounty and Hargy Chani. So shout out to you guys. We appreciate each and every one of y'all for your support. Thank y'all so very much. But of course, man, you know how we do here, man. You guys live in the building right now. You guys are supporting us in such a major way, man. And we appreciate each and every single one of y'all for being here live in the building. So we appreciate y'all. That being said, I mean, I think it's clear at this point, if this is not your first rodeo, you know it's impossible for you all to be equal, right? That's right. You cannot all be equal because right now there are specials walking amongst you. That's right. You turn your head, you might catch one. 3 of you are the specials for the evening. How do you become the special? I could tell you right now, it's very simple. Very, very simple. All you got to do is be one of the first 3 people who walk into the building. That's right. These people, they saw our on point bat signal go up and they said, holy shit, it is live. I got to go on there, baby. And that's what they did. Now, I know there is a slight situation between both of the streams, right? So because of that, it sounds like some people will get confused. You think you're number 1, but on the other one, somebody was there first. So I do see the timestamps. So I do see who's actually first and who's not first. So that being said, let's go ahead and tell you who are your specials. Who are the top 3? All right. I can tell you right now. Number 3 in the building. Wait, oh, yes, number 3 in the building was our mother effing homie. E-Ranks in the building. Shout out to our boy E-Ranks, number 3 in the building. Actually, let me write this stuff down. E-Ranks, number 3. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for being here, brother. Appreciate you. Number 2 in the building is our boy Malcolm X-Lax. That's right. It's our boy Malcolm X-Lax. Shout out to you, homie. Thank you for being here, man. You're number 2 in the building. You're not messing around. Good on you. You did it. The first show of the new month, right? So this is it. Our December champs are being decided starting today. And you 2 have made it into the series. But now, this is the real question. Who was, in fact, number 1? And I can tell you that number 1 in the building was our boy Dark Angelic. Shout out to our homie Dark Angelic, number 1 in the building, best spot of the night. Shout out to you, man. Appreciate you, homie. Thank you so much for rocking out with us. And those are your specials for the evening. So you see them in the chat, you show some goddamn respect. Okay, they're the specials. You gotta show some respect. All right. I got that there. Let me update this bad boy right here. Make sure everybody gets their due. So we got Dark Angelic, Malcolm X Lex, and E-Rix. Okay, beautiful. That is there. You are good to go. All right. That being said, let me see who else do we have in the building here. We got the homie Be Nice in the building. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for being here, bro. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. User for Games in the building. What's going on, my dude? Thank you for rocking out with us. Razor Ultron in the building. Oh, snap. Razor Ultron. It's not messing around. You ready? I'm ready. Motherfucker Razor Ultron went ahead and gifted an all-point for gamer membership, man. Shout out to our homie Razor Ultron, man. Y'all know what to do. Put the motherfucking welcome to the family emoji in the chat. Welcome our newest member, man. We appreciate you so much for rocking out with us. And of course, our boy Razor, man. Thank you so much for the support and for gifting that membership. You know what he wants, everyone. You know what he wants. That's right. Go ahead. If you're a member, go ahead and put that motherfucking FB emoji in the chat. Make sure you know how much you appreciate him. All right. Let him know. Let him know. It means a lot to him. Don't mess it up. All right. Go ahead and let him know that you see value in this man. Give him the FB emoji. Okay. Let him know. Appreciate it. All right. Who else we got over here? We got Broke Boy in the building. What's up, man? Thank you for being here, man. Appreciate you. I see the homie Ryu are in the building. What's up, playa? Whoop whoop kid. What's going on, man? Tony Wall. Remember, guys, YouTube is back to doing the ats and not your screen name. So if you hear me say your name funny, it's because that's what your at is and not, what your name used to be or whatever it is. So Tony Wall, what's up, man? Thank you for being here, my brother. APIB, what's up, man? Appreciate you, bro. Outward Lyric, what's going on, man? CBH for God, what's going on, playa? Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Oh shit, where did this go? Oopsie. There we go. It's updating. The Game Adaptation Newscast. What's up, man? Thank you for being here, bro. Appreciate you. Blueface, what is going on, homie? Thank you for being here. And then over here, Mr. Teddy Keys in the building. What's up, man? What's going on, play? Avenged Ninja, what's going on, my dude? Thank you for rocking out with us, bro. Appreciate it. I know it's confusion with this split stuff, but it beats what it beats. It beats what it beats. Okay. Now, as we did on last show, okay, I think that the way forward is starting right away with our main topic, and then we'll just kind of go into other stuff after that, right? I like that. So that's the way we're going to rock it. So let me go ahead and take this chapter. Okay. For actually, take the chapter. I got to bring this goddamn thing up. So let me go ahead and bring it up. And then we will go ahead and see. There's a lot of emotional damage going on over something that they claim not to believe, but they're all in the works, all riled up over it. So let me get this chapter real quick. Go here. Okay, so chapter 1. Yes, you guys see the title. It is, in fact, The Real Deal Holyfield. There is a report, a rumor, some would say, that PlayStation 6 will be getting Steam. That comes courtesy of our boy Hip Hop Gamer, who has, listen, he has a track record. Sometimes they come to fruition, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they take longer to come through. Like he talked about Hellblade, coming to PlayStation a while ago, and then it came through and other people try to take credit. And he was like, bro, I broke this so long ago. So like sometimes it's right, sometimes it's not, or sometimes it just didn't come out yet. We don't know, but this is the newest rumor. Let's hear a little bit from what Hip Hop says out of his own mouth, and then we could chat about it.
There's nothing on. Yeah.
Can you hear it?
No, there's nothing.
Nothing.
Nope.
What about now?
Nope.
You can hear it now? Is it coming through or no?
Nah.
Oh shit!
Yo,
I don't even
you
have
already
this
know
shit
what
on
it
the
is.
screen.
Now, let's get to it.
God damn it! You told you
Steam
it's still a little
is
fuzzy.
officially
All right.
these videos, you know what I'm saying? I come to the point, baby. Steam is coming to PlayStation 6. Confirmed. You know how it gets down when I come around with these videos, you know what I'm saying? And listen, later on, make sure y'all give me the credit when the news come out, you know what I'm saying? And all these outlets you be acting like they the ones who they don't bring nothing. You know what I'm saying? They ain't bring nothing. Make sure you source this video. You already know what it is. Now, let's get to it. Steam is officially coming to PlayStation 6. Now, obviously, I can't give away my sources and stuff like that, but I'm going to let you in on a little something. Now, the first thing I can tell you is this, right? PlayStation 6 officially will be more of an open platform. Yes, it's crazy. It's happening with multiple OSs that you can like boot into. So pretty much like I kind of told you before, in 2024, in terms of like having the PC mode and the console mode, when I was making reference to what the Xbox is going to be like in the future and everything like that with the whole hybrid stuff. Yep. PlayStation 6, baby. It's going down officially. Steam is coming to PlayStation 6. Now, another reason why they're doing this too, and obviously this is a business move, is PC has been great for PlayStation in a big way. And how do you marry that? And the way you marry it is making sure that more people can stay inside of the PlayStation ecosystem, obviously through the hardware, by having this opportunity to bring Steam to the platform. Now, I know a lot of people out there talking about, you know, the Steam machine and the competition and PlayStation got to worry about this. No, you got it all wrong. Had to spin a chain on that one, dog. You got it all wrong. You know what I'm saying? Steam is definitely coming to PlayStation, and it's going to be the one-stop shop for all video games, all generations of PlayStation. And also something that's very interesting too is that you're going to see all the generations of PlayStation benefit from AI in a major way. So think about it kind of like how NVIDIA does with the RTX remixes and stuff like that. That's going to be something that will be a new standard. That's going to be the norm. So it's going to be unbelievable. Now, I know a lot of y'all probably going to be like, well, we heard you say all generations before hip hop, but what about the PS3? What about the PS3? They ain't come to PS5 yet, so like that. Yo, I'm telling you, like I told you before, and I gave y'all the update on this already. It's already there. Like they can do it. They already have it. Like, you know what I'm saying? But from a business standpoint, this is what I found out later. But from a business standpoint, why get that to you when I can sell it? For example, Red Dead Redemption. That's a PlayStation 3 title, right? But you see that they took their time to upgrade that, and now you can get that on the PS5. So it's the same concept. They could have been did this. It's already there. It's already been working, tested, and stuff like that. While you starting to see a lot more RC PS3 games like MotorStorm being fully playable and 60 FPS upgrades, all that stuff been there. All that stuff has been there, and it's coming. It's just going to come at a later time where the PlayStation 5 isn't as much of the focus like that, and everything is going to be more geared towards the PlayStation 6 in a couple of years. So, hey, business model is a business model. You know, why give it away when people pay for it? And people have been paying for it. You know what I'm saying? Metal Gear Solid 4. You know what I mean? Guns of the Patriots. You want that, right? Could have been had that, but right. You're going to see how that plays out too. Wait till you see how that game plays out and other stuff that's coming. But anyway, another thing I wanted to share with y'all too is that the FSR technology, you know what I'm saying, the Redstone stuff. Now, what's interesting about that is that FSR4, now that they moved into their AI movement, just like how NVIDIA been doing with the DLSS, FSR4 is moving at a crazy fast rate. But when the PlayStation 6 come around, that whole suite of technology is going to be on another level. That's what Mark Cerny was talking about. You know what I'm saying? With the neural arrays and all the new things that they're doing, especially with bandwidth and.
Okay. So we already know about the AI stuff, but so okay, so this is the thing. He says it here. Now, he says it with a lot of conviction, right? He says it with a lot of conviction that it's Steam is coming to PlayStation. And as a look, I think we here know the trend that PlayStation has followed, right? Xbox does something, PlayStation takes a while longer, but ends up doing the same shit, right? And I think one of the biggest things here is understanding that Xbox has already triggered this, right? Like this has already happened. Xbox has already gone ahead, pulled the trigger, and put this into effect with their latest Steam box. I'm sorry, their Steam box. The fuck am I? It's the wooziness, right? With the latest handheld, right? With the Xbox Ally X, right? You can already go buy a device that allows you to play your Xbox shit, and then also your Steam library and any other library, right? And he says as well that you're going to have these other operating systems, or I mean that's wild. If you could boot into other operating systems, like he's mentioning, it's kind of like what you do on the handheld, right? Theoretically, you kind of boot in straight to the big screen, whatever, Steam big picture mode, and then the same thing with the Xbox full screen experience, right? You can kind of choose which way you want to go on a handheld. So that would be interesting. But the thing is that you're looking at something that Xbox already started now. And theoretically, we're expecting the next Xbox to drop next year, right? But the PlayStation 6 not looking like it's going to come out till 2028, 2029. You know what I'm saying? Like that's when Mark Cerny said it on his thing, during that little meeting with AMD, he said a few years out, right? So you're talking we're in 2025, that's 2028, and assuming there's no delays, that could put you 2029 or even 2030 if things get crazy, right? So I guess the point is that PlayStation would have seen long enough what is happening with Xbox having these other stores on the platform. And I mean, I think we already kind of seen like early suggestions with the hardware is that people are loving the hardware, right? Like they love the handheld. It's everything's available on it. It's more attractive that way, right? Do you think maybe, PlayStation looks at this, and we already know, like they already kind of they literally have said that they're moving away from like bespoke PlayStation hardware, right? Like the things that make it super unique, they're done with that. They're not worried about that. They want to make it something that is more open, so that their devs can do more things. So, I mean, as much as the track record might not be whatever people will want it to be, and I don't think it's far-fetched to say that this is going to be the case. I think at a certain point you're going to look back, and I believe you said this on this show multiple times. Like at a certain point, it's going to be like, why would you buy the PlayStation if you're stuck only on PlayStation with only PlayStation games, when on the other end you can go ahead and get whatever you want from any store that you feel like. I mean, what do you think about this when you see this? What are your kind of thoughts?
I definitely think it's interesting. It's interesting because it puts Sony in a very peculiar place, because I don't think that in the situation that Hip Hop Gamer is talking about, that these PlayStation devices are going to run Windows. I just don't see that being a thing. So then it becomes, do your fans really rock with Linux like that? And that becomes a different question. It may be the first time that a consumer is saying, "Hey, I don't rock with Linux. I rock with iOS, or I rock with Windows." That like they have their OS that they prefer to rock with, and it may be a deal breaker for their device for a lot of people. So it's going to be interesting to see how they handle that, and then the whole anti-cheat thing that Linux devices struggle with it's going to be interesting. That's my first interpretation of what I'm seeing is like, okay. And then it's going to create a real conflict for the consumer. Just that new OS, whatever it is, if it's going to be more PC like and you're trying to frame it in that way, because there's no way that PlayStation goes this route and they don't have a PC app on Windows. Also, if their PlayStation basically becomes a PC, there has to be an equivalent on Windows, and there has to be an equivalent on iOS to some degree. So it's gonna force people like to really look at the device in a different way than they've ever had to look at it before, because now it does more. And I'm going to be paying more, hypothetically, if we're talking about these devices being PCs, I'm going to be paying more than what I was paying before. It's just going to change how people look at their device, and if the investment is really the experience that they want outside of the core gaming experience.
See, I think you make some pretty good points. Let me get Dark Angelic in here real quick with that $2 super chat. Appreciate you, my brother. First super chat of the night says, phonies keep lying because they always keep crying. They do cry. That is the truth. I believe that 100%. As you were kind of talking, I was thinking about the fact that, it's clear that Xbox, like the next Xbox, like it's pretty clear that what they're going to be doing is now just making one game, as opposed to now where you have like the Xbox version and then there's a port, right? There's a PC version, right? But they're two separate games, right? Yeah. Where what it seems like is going forward, this next hybrid console that they're doing, I think the goal is to eliminate the need for a port, right? Yeah. I think now you're going to be like, the goal for them is just to be making, hey, all of our games are everywhere anyway. If we make our console PC, like it's just going to be a lock spec box that whatever version of the game we have, that one version we made, when you play it on that box, it'll know you're playing on that box and just put the specs to what it needs to be to run on that box.
Yeah.
You eliminate the need for that, right? And we know PlayStation struggle with the porting thing where they had to go buy this other company. Like they couldn't do it in-house, right? They didn't know how to do it. They had to buy a porting house, and then, now they're hiring people to do all these ports and do all these things. And it's just, for me, if we're talking about Hiroki Totoki, who came out here and said, how do we go ahead and make sure that we make the most money possible? If we know that they're going to be, again, everything that they've told us leads to the fact that they are going to be releasing their games on PC, right? Like that's just what it is. Closer and closer and closer to the release. We just got that Death Stranding leak for the PC rating, right? It came sooner than it did for the last game. And it just seems like that's going to be, the
norm,
essentially the way forward, right? So as that gets closer and closer to release, at some point, doesn't it make sense for them, if like the way he's talking about this, right, where it is going to be in fact like a hybrid? Doesn't it make sense for PlayStation to be able to just make one version of the game and have it run the same way I talked about as Xbox, where the PlayStation is just a fixed version of it, so it'll be like, okay, I know you're playing the game here, but then also if you go play it on PC, it's going to be just able to scale to whatever hardware you have?
It makes sense. It's just a matter of the execution, and I guess the new user experience of having a more PC-like device, and all the other things that come into question, like how do I accessing certain apps, if it's more familiar to me on this, when I log into my Microsoft account, I automatically am able to get into all the accounts that I'm used to getting into, because I've been using Windows my whole life, and it creates a new dynamic that people are going to have to really pay attention to, especially at the price points that we're hearing these devices might hit. RAM going through the roof. Now they're saying SSDs are about to go through the roof. like there's going to be a lot of things that kind of dictate how a consumer decides to spend their money in the coming years on these type of devices. So them taking this step out of the norm is a little bit more risky considering the other conditions going on in the tech space.
I mean, what do you think about the fact that he's bringing back the idea of all the generations? Because as you know, on PC, that is very viable, right?
Yeah.
On PC, a PC type PlayStation can go ahead and get all those games to be able to be played, because most of them are all emulated now, where you can get them that way anyway.
I don't trust that they'll do it, and even if they do it with their platform being more open, who's to stop me from buying or just downloading the emulator where I don't have to purchase these games? Again, if you're talking about like reopening the whole PS2 library and the whole PS3 library and the whole PS1 library, you can do that now on your PC. If you really want to play all those old games again, it's possible, and it's possible to do it for free. So it's,
but do you think the average PlayStation gamer is going to do all that shit, or do you think they'll just see it now available to be purchased and be like, oh shit, I can go buy it?
I think it's gonna kind of be like when people were jailbreaking Fire Sticks, except it's gonna be a lot easier. So people will be like, oh, okay, there's a YouTube video that walks me through it. I'll just do that and have all my games again. I mean, we're not talking about we're talking about older gamers who want to play these games. So I think they're probably a little familiar with the process a little bit more, especially if it's just like, come here, download this link. It's like downloading LimeWire or Pirate Bay or something back in the day. People figure it out and do it. Napster.
Yeah. But I mean, does that give them their trophies? Does that give them all the stuff that they're going to want, right? Like they'll have ways of making it appeal to them if they were going to do it. I guess the point is that I think overall, when you look at some of these smaller things, they kind of lead into each other, right?
Yeah.
PlayStation being more PC like would theoretically allow some of that, right? You know what I'm saying? It would make it easier to do that. So I don't know. I don't think that that's something that would be completely out of the realm of reality. The other thing that he talks about later on, and it's pretty lengthy, so I didn't want to go through the whole thing, but later on he does talk about this idea that PlayStation is going to have like almost like PlayStation Home. If you remember, PlayStation Home was the thing back in the day.
Yeah.
PlayStation 3. And he's saying that they're essentially doing something like that, but not as big or as in-depth as Home, and more so like a hub area. So he described like NBA 2K, the neighborhood or whatever, as a way to be more social. Like, I don't know if they're gonna plan on having you turn on a PlayStation, you launch into this hub, and then you like walk up to a screen or something and start I don't know what that would be or how that would be, but it's just, it feels like very specific random shit to be talking about.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like in this case, I mean, we've been telling Sony that they had to do something different, but it feels like what they're doing is stepping into the world of Steam and Xbox and Microsoft's lane. And I just, I'm interested to see if they're equipped to really do that. Like, do they make their own, Linux version OS, like PlayStation OS type thing, like their Steam OS? Do they do that for the PC mode, or like do they just slap like Ubuntu on there or something? Like, kind of like, what is the OS that they're going to use? Like, well, Microsoft, we know what OS we're going to use. We know we're going to get like Windows 12 or something like that. Like, we know what we're getting with Steam OS. It's just going to be interesting to see how they go about executing this, and is it something that the consumer really wants and would like.
So let me get E-Ranks real quick because I have a thought on this and then we can kind of take it from there. E-Ranks in the building. What's up, my dude? Says, I think they don't have a choice. In those leaked Insomniac documents, PlayStation themselves said our pillars are outdated and we are at risk. They need to change. All right, check this out. I think if in this case, what if I doubt that they would want to go ahead and be like, hey, Microsoft, here's a cut of every console we sell because we're now, leasing Windows from you, right?
Yeah.
So the kind of obvious direction you can go is exactly what he said. Steam will be on the device. Well, what if it's Steam OS? Remember, PlayStation games are already on Steam, right? So they already have that funnel of the games working there, right?
Steam OS is free,
so if they went ahead and they built their next console off of Steam OS, now I don't know how well that would work. I don't know if AMD stuff is built more for Windows, and are they going to have to do something very special, or is this something that Steam is doing and PlayStation is just going to piggyback off? I mean, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that's a possibility where they go the Steam OS route as their kind of base outside of, whatever bespoke PlayStation version they might have?
I think they might copy and paste parts of Steam OS and call it PlayStation OS. I don't think they'll actually run Steam OS just because people will be like, is it really is it really a PlayStation if it runs Steam OS? They'll they know what people are going to say if they do that. So they'll do their own version and call it PlayStation OS, but it might be very similar to Steam OS or something like that. But then, like I said, when you do that, then you create a situation where it's is your OS good enough that people want to do it? And do they like the fact that whatever OS they release is going to be limited to only it's another situation where their OS is limited only to their platform. Even if it's a version of Linux, it's still a version that's limited only. You're not going to have PlayStation OS on your PC or on your phone or on your tablet or anything. So it's becomes a unique scenario to where it's do people want the other stuff that comes with the device? Now that it's more than just a gaming device at that point, when it has this OS and it can be a more open platform where you can do all these other things. It just creates a new set of things that they have to consider.
So I think the crazy shit is when you look at how they've been handling the conversation around this new box, right?
Yeah.
Every time they talk about it, there's so much uncertainty, right? There's so much not sure, they're still in the planning phases. I think the hard truth is that if they were just going to make a PlayStation 6 another PlayStation, I don't think there would be that much thought going into it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? It's just, okay, what power are we bringing? Okay, we're working with AMD just to make, sure that it's a little easy for us to have we fucked up on the pisser, right? They came out and admitted it. They said the pisser sucks ass. Regret, horrible regret. Let's just work with AMD, use their tech in our new box, and we're good to go. There wouldn't be this much thought and uncertainty going into the next PlayStation. And I think the reason that this is happening, and I think we are probably, at least a lot of us, all in the same kind of idea here, where I don't think generations are going to mean the same going forward.
No,
I just don't. I think the next Xbox, the next PlayStation, and everything going forward will be the equivalent of NVIDIA dropping their next graphics card, right? It'll be more power. It'll be better. It'll do better things. It'll have new tricks and new things that the other older consoles wouldn't be able to do. But that doesn't mean that those other consoles won't be able to play those games. right?
Yeah.
So it's I think consoles are now going to be kind of moving towards that more luxury upgrade versus a necessity. And now games are just going to be able to live where they are for a long amount of time. And the problem with that is that if Xbox is going in and they're saying for the long haul, they're coming out with their console, but also a console that lets you have access to all of these other stores and basically future proofing themselves, right? Because if there's some other contender that just comes up out of nowhere, right? Another place that you might be interested in streaming games or buying games, you would be able to do that on the new Xbox without them even knowing what the future holds, right? Because you just go on the browser and download whatever you want and it'll just work like if you were doing it on PC. Whereas if PlayStation comes into this gen with just straight PlayStation, just the PlayStation 6 is just like it was for PlayStation 5, just a better version.
It would be like the Switch 2. They would be like kind of niche, but they would have a place. With the new device, what we're talking about going on now is we're talking about PlayStation essentially becoming like the Windows Phone or the BlackBerry of the smartphones, where they enter into this new space where they have this OS and things like that. But how many apps are catered to it? How many things can I jump into and jump out of that I'm used to on these, other devices that have already kind of been established and matured in the market. We're talking about a OS that is going to be very immature, that's not going to have all the feature-rich capabilities of a Windows or even a Steam OS that is maturing every day because it's been out for quite a bit of time now. They're going to be in an interesting place where they're like that BlackBerry or that Windows Phone fighting for their life, in a sense of what the OS capabilities are, and are customers going to be patient as their device catches up to what a Windows device can do or what a Steam OS device can do, is going to be like one of the bigger questions.
I mean, I think one of the biggest things that I keep seeing around when it comes to this conversation is this idea that it doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense for PlayStation. But Xbox is doing it, right? Xbox is doing it. And it absolutely makes sense from a customer standpoint, right? Like being able to have access to all your shit is phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
So, and again, I think the biggest thing is what's going to happen with PlayStation over time if they are just the, same old, right?
Yeah.
Like in
I
the
agree with something that they have to do for sure, but it's a lot of risk in it too, because they're entering. It's how patient are your customers going to be with that change? Is really going to be the real question when it comes to this.
Well,
like
would it be
OS
a change? Like, would it be a change to their average customers? Because this is the thing, right? Even when it comes to Xbox, and this is why, I think every time we talk about these things, it's important to note that these particular things, when it comes to Steam or any of this other stuff, this is all for the hardcore gamer, right? The gamer in the know, right?
Yeah.
To everybody, like I got to make it very, very clear to everyone else in the world, when they go buy the next Xbox and when they go buy the PlayStation 6 and they turn it on, they're not going to be confused. You know what I'm saying? Like the Xbox player will be in an Xbox and they'll understand how to use it. It's not like they're going to just be throwing them a bunch of screens like, hey, it's a PC now, figure something out. No, it's going to be a console experience.
Yeah.
It's only for the discerning player who knows better will be able to go ahead and dig deeper, right? PlayStation is going to do the same shit. No, none of these casuals are going to be confused when they turn on their PlayStation and be like, wait, which version am I? No, they're going to know where they are and what they're doing. It's just going to be a matter of being able to access these other places if you care to, right? If you care to, if they decide to start marketing it that way. But ultimately, I mean, again, and I've said it many, many times, like there's no, like the PlayStation brand is what it is. That's not going to change it. Nintendo is what it is, and Xbox is what it is. None of this extra shit is going to change it for the casual. What it is going to do is change it for the hardcore player, right? So the hardcore player, if Steam doesn't go to PlayStation, right? If PlayStation doesn't follow suit as Hip Hop Gamer says is 100% happening, right? If they don't follow suit, then you're going to take the people who spend the most money on your box and you put them at risk, right? And that's the biggest thing, because if you're telling those people that, hey, if you buy my box, you can only play PlayStation games, you can never take advantage of those amazing Steam sales or any of that other stuff, you're stuck here and that's it. Those people, and I'm not talking about I'm talking about hardcore gamers, not hardcore PlayStation fanboys, right? So there are people who just know PlayStation is the box and they're hardcore gamers and they spend money. But if they know that it's available where they can go ahead and get a different box, have access to all the other games, plus these PlayStation games when they get ported to PC or day and date on PC in some future, then how do they lose by having the box available with Steam? So for me, it makes sense for PlayStation to not want to be left behind, right? For them to be like, yes, we're going to have Steam. Again, it does zero to damage their prospects with casuals. It just doesn't, unless there is some crazy marketing way that can be done that just blows people's minds. Like, oh my God, I can play all these games on it. Like, I don't ever see Xbox just being like, hey, buy our game here or buy it on Steam, right? Like, I don't think that's ever going to be a thing outside of the normal available on Steam situation. But like on a console box, when you click on the game, it's not going to be like buy here or Steam. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, for sure. It's just like when we hear the OS thing, it's just, they're going to have to market it. And is that marketing going to be confusing? Are people going to start comparing like what I can actually do on this OS? What applications are native to this OS? Those are like legitimate questions that people like, because it's the whole experience outside of just gaming. People use their PlayStations for a lot more than just gaming, and now you're going to have it do more, and people are going to have to evaluate what that more is, especially as that price tag goes up.
Agreed. I mean, I don't know. When I look at it, I just feel like at the end of the day, right now, they're like I don't see them rushing to do this, right? Like, I don't see the next PlayStation being rushed out. We've heard it many times that it's basically midway through the life, right? Now, that doesn't mean that a box couldn't release earlier, but like, it's not a big rush for them, right? They're making shit tons of money right now on third-party content. They're not hurting at all in that way. They're barely bringing out first party, so it's not a huge, risk for them or anything like that. So I don't think PlayStation is going to be just jumping and saying, hey, let's do this. I think by the time the PlayStation 6 comes out, the idea of having access to stores like Steam on your console are going to be made the norm by Xbox already.
Yeah.
But my thing is, the norm.
So, but let's just say this new PlayStation comes out with this new OS. But before then, we're talking about like what, 2029 when this is supposed to happen?
2028 to 23.
Yeah, so by then, let's say PlayStation has their PC launcher. Let's say their PC launcher ends up being integrated into the Xbox full screen experience. Let's say that by the time this PlayStation 6 comes out, you have the PlayStation app built into the Xbox UI, on top of having access to all your native apps that you love, your Netflix, your Spotify's, your Hulu's, your iTunes, your Apple Music, your Tidal, whatever it is that you like, whatever that you can access easily right now within the Windows suite of products and services. And let's say PlayStation OS launches and it's kind of doesn't have nearly half of those apps, and then like the apps that they do have that you want to access, like your YouTube Music or your Spotify's, are those third-party apps that kind of like let you into it, but it's not exactly the native experience. Like, how comfortable are people going to be like, well, I can have the same PlayStation experience on this Xbox device or the Steam device or whatever device that they choose, or it can be locked into this PlayStation OS that's still kind of maturing. I can still have the full PlayStation experience where I get my trophies, I do everything, but it's just not on a PlayStation branded device, because now we're just talking about all these devices being PCs at this point, and it kind of changes how you think. Even for casual, it would start to change how they think once they realize that all these devices are PCs. It's going to be a little bit different.
Agreed. I think so. Like I've been seeing, and people are on Twitter, and they're up in arms. They're downplaying it, right? They're feeling emotionally upset about it. And like I think one of the biggest things that people are trying to be, like, for instance, like Porter Rock, right? He comes in here, he says he listened to the Hip Hop Gamer video, the next PlayStation to be an open platform console that will have Steam. So Sony will let you buy NBA 2K on Steam and have Valve make the 30% cut instead of having you buy the game on the PlayStation Store where they make the 30%. Yeah, okay. So that is something that is one of the biggest things that people keep talking about, is this idea of the money, and where people are going to go ahead and do that. But again, I think that type of thought, and again, I think when I hear that, all I hear is like confusion as to who will be taking advantage of this, right? And I think like your dude who plays NBA 2K all year long is going to buy the PlayStation 6, go to the PlayStation Store on the PlayStation 6 and buy NBA 2. I don't see anybody deviating from that. And honestly, it's the same thing with Xbox, right? And that's why I don't think the risk is as crazy as people are trying to make it out to be when it comes to Xbox and PlayStation having these other stores available. Because first of all, if you were a Steam first customer, then you're a PC customer, right? Yeah. Like if Steam is your shit, you only think it's your shit because you're on PC. That's like it.
I mean, we experienced with the ROG Ally, with our Xbox allies. We are in the Xbox full screen experience, and as long as that native experience is good enough, we don't go shopping outside of the Xbox experience unless they make us,
100%.
The deal would have to be amazing for me to go to Steam and make the purchase on Steam.
Exactly. Like that's the big thing for me. Like I love my Xbox ecosystem. I would not buy a game on Steam when I can get the same game on Xbox with Xbox Play Anywhere, or just having access to it on my on all my other consoles, right? Like that's the big thing for me. So I'm already in the Xbox ecosystem. What this allows me to do is, yes, I've had a PC for a long time, and in previous generations, when specifically which one is the one that went forever? Was it the 360 generation? I think it was the 360 generation.
360, right? I think 360 and PS3 were like the longest generation.
Yeah, it took forever, right? So because it took forever, games looked like shit for a long time. Like, meaning like they didn't enhance, and I kept seeing PC versions of games look so much better. So that's really when I went all in on PC, having a strong PC. 2010, I believe, was the first time that I bought a real gaming PC. And because at that point, the games were just looking the shittiest, and I would see them on PC. I was like, God damn, like that looks great. This looks old as fuck. I'm gonna go buy the PC, and that's what I did. So yes, I have so many Steam games, like it's like a stupid amount, because I would buy every time there was the Steam sales or whatever, they have these crazy bundles, fucking like $23 and get like 100 games from this publisher, right? Like it would just be so many different deals that I just stacked up and stacked up. So for me right now, being able to do this allows me to go ahead and play some of my back catalog, some of the older games, some of the other games that I have that I haven't touched forever because I have them there. Same thing because, you know, we do reviews, and some of the publishers, they give you Steam codes as the review, right? So now all of a sudden, like I'm going and reviewing a game on the Steam, and then, you know, the game comes out and it's like, all right, well, I want to play it more, I want to do something, it's on Steam, right? I go back to the Steam version, I want to start new somewhere else. So like it just gives me options, and I think that's the biggest thing. I don't think anybody is looking, I would say very few people. There are going to be people who are going to be coming from PC to say, okay, I can buy this kind of fixed box and it's cheaper because it's not going to cost, you know, there should be some type of you know, feeling towards hitting a certain number, you know, even if it's 1,000 or 800 or 900, theoretically they should be getting more for their purchase of an Xbox or PlayStation that has access to PC versus buying your own PC at the equivalent power, right? Theoretically, it should be cheaper to buy the Xbox or the PlayStation than an equivalent PC. So there will be a certain group of people who'll be like, okay, I'm going to buy you know, this Xbox or this PC, and I'm going to use it for mostly my Steam library, and maybe on Xbox I'll get Game Pass, or, you know, maybe on PlayStation it's just for the certain, you know, games that they release and it's in their, you know, PlayStation Plus or whatever it is. And so there is a group that'll do that, but I think the vast majority of people are not going to buy the next PlayStation hoping to use Steam, you know, exclusively. I don't think anybody's gonna do it. If Steam has the game for $70 and PlayStation has the game for $70, and you're a PlayStation fan and you buy the next PlayStation, why would you buy the Steam version?
Yeah, you're gonna stay in the ecosystem that you're comfortable with. And if you bought a PlayStation to play games on Steam, you were probably already a Steam customer. That was probably already your primary place of.
And you know what?
Gaming.
That Steam customer might have never bought a PlayStation.
Yeah.
But because they have access to it, now they're saying, oh shit, okay, I'll go buy this PlayStation that has access to Steam. I have all my Steam library. I'll buy most of my shit there. But if something comes up, maybe on PlayStation, like Steam doesn't have a Steam service.
Yeah.
So there's no subscription service to Steam where they're going to give you free games every month, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just not what's there, right? So so that is a possibility for somebody if they chose to. And again, maybe they never would have bought a PlayStation, but because Steam is there, they will. Same thing with Xbox. Again, I think there's only a small group of people who are going to do that, but I think that that's still a group of people. And at the end of the day, I honestly just don't think, and that's why all these comments that people are making, well, oh, why would they let you buy a different version of the game instead of doing it here? Honestly, I don't think that's going to happen often. I don't. I think maybe if you hear of a crazy sale that Steam is having, but just like, and this is the part that I want people to think about, just like Amazon and Best Buy and Target and all these places, you know what tends to happen? I get a notification, hey, Best Buy has $20 off this item. You know what happens when I go to Amazon? It's typically $20 off that item. Okay.
Yeah.
So what now you start to do is make it where PlayStation is going to be like, okay, yes, in this scenario, this game is on sale. If they're doing the sale there, we'll do the sale here.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, they start having to go ahead and match some of the deals in order to go ahead and get you, you know.
Well, that's actually the best case scenario for us.
Yeah, exactly. Worst case for them, best case for us, right? But also, like it does, like again, you got to remember these devs, especially these smaller devs, they're all bringing their games to PC. They're all bringing their games to Steam. There's no question about that. Okay. So if you go ahead and you have a PlayStation and you can't have access to certain games because you're on PlayStation, that's going to be an L for the people who care enough, right?
Yeah.
PlayStation allowing you, the person who would consider themselves to be a hardcore gamer, who are in the know about these deals and these other games that come out and are on PC but haven't come to console, being able to go ahead and just be like, okay, guess what? You're buying all your games on PlayStation because that's where you prefer to be. That's why you bought a PlayStation. But all those games that you hear, those niche games or those cool games that are not getting any console attention, now you can go ahead and you can buy those games, right?
Yeah.
That gives you more choice. I think PlayStation, as much as we've seen them, be choice adverse, right? Like they're not out here looking to give their players a lot of choice. They weren't, right? But they seem to now be doing this on a more consistent basis, right? Where you're seeing these things happen. So I don't know, man. What do you think? Do you think that this is likely in this scenario where all these different facets kind of mix together?
I think it's likely. Like I think it's likely. I think they're going to do it, but I think it's just going to introduce a lot of questions. Like I'm just thinking as a consumer, like even as a casual gamer, like I'm like, okay, if I got to choose a console, $1,000 plus console, I'm probably going to be a little bit more discerning about what I purchase, and I'm a realize and be like, okay, well, if I get the PlayStation version with this PlayStation OS, I can only access, PlayStation Plus subscription service. If I get the Steam box, the only thing I can access really pretty much is the Steam store, and I can access other stores, but they make it a little bit more difficult to do so, but it's possible. And then I look at the Xbox, I'm like, I can access the Xbox subscription service, I can access, Ubisoft Plus, I can access Nvidia G Cloud, I have access to Game Pass, and if PlayStation does truly launch a PC launcher, I have access to their subscription too if I want to. I can be on PlayStation subscription service, I could be on Xbox subscription. Like it's just like the more open they are, it's gonna introduce the question of how open are you truly, and how many services can I actually partake in that I want to partake in. And I think that's why I want to see how this plays out, because it's going to be a very immature OS when it launches compared to what Steam OS is going to be, 5 years from now, 4 years from now, 3 years from now. And what Windows, we're going to be on Windows 12 by then, what Windows 12 is, and what the Xbox full screen experience is becoming now that it's on the PC now and it's on the handhelds, and you can pretty much access it on anything. It's going to be interesting to see how this immature OS competes with these mature OSs on the market. And I'm just very interested to see that. That's the driving point that's in my head when they bring this up.
Well, let's bring in another wrinkle. We know that PlayStation is working on a handheld.
Yes.
Now, Xbox went ahead and released their handheld, and that handheld is Xbox focused first. But if you so choose, you can go in and access Steam. You can access, Epic Game Stores. You can access all these other launchers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right from the one device. Do you think PlayStation coming out with a new handheld mimics their old ways of coming out with a handheld that is only going to allow you to play PlayStation games? Or do you think that they're going to follow literally 99% of the handheld market outside of Nintendo and allow you to download everything?
Interesting question. I feel like it's going to be locked. I just do. I
You
feel
think
like
it's gonna
it's
be
gonna be.
loud? You think they come out with a handheld that's just naked? It's just a PlayStation, no access to anything else.
I don't think that they're prepared to make a PC handheld that competes at the price point of the Li and LIX. And because of that, I just don't see it being open in that way. Because if it's open in that way, then it's going to be scrutinized and held up to the standard of those devices. If it's more of a bespoke piece of hardware, it gets to go into that switch lane where it's judged based on its own merits and it's not judged against other devices that are in the market.
So you think, so for all intents and purposes, you kind of believe that PlayStation, although sometime in the future it might happen, you think they're going to just stick with the status quo. You don't think that they're.
I think the Vita 2 will be the Vita 2. I don't think it'll be a PC handheld.
I don't know. I feel like I think the hardest part for me is just when you look at how they talk about it, man. When they talk about anything coming from the future, it just sounds like it's going to be so different. You know what I'm saying? Like Mark Cerny saying things like where we used to focus on our PlayStation, what makes it special. We're now basically not gonna do that. Like it all lines up for what Hip Hop Gamer said and what Xbox is doing. And if you foresee the fact that you're talking like 2028 before this thing drops, and then that's their box for another, 5 to 6 years.
I think it's just
how can you be behind so far? Like, if you really allow the world to go ahead, like, think about it this way: no matter how you cut it, although the casuals will go to PlayStation, right, as they normally will, you will, no matter how you cut it, if you don't include Steam in your next box or access to any stores outside of Steam, you will be taking your hardcore, the people who like to spend money on gaming, and you will be dividing them. You will be having people who are like, damn, I can play. I've been hearing about these Steam sales for years, but I've been on one box. You're telling me that I could do that on the Xbox, get Steam sales, and still get my PlayStation games?
Humble bundles. I mean, all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm talking about years that this would be happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is years before the PlayStation drops, and then fucking 5-6 years after the PlayStation drops.
Well, I think they're still in that window where they can still kind of manipulate their customers, and if the PlayStation handheld is just an upgraded portal that can play games natively and it's just a couple $100 more, I think people are going to rock with that. So if it goes from the portal is $299 or two something.
The portal, I believe, was $299, right?
If it goes from like $199 to $599 or to $499, I think people are gonna be like kind of happy with that. Like, oh, now there's a collection of games I can play natively on this handheld, but it's not a fully open world, like, because then they have to truly make. I mean, that would be the beginning of PlayStation OS. So that would be like a pilot. If they did it that way, it would be kind of smart. But even then, like I said, it would be very immature, and it still wouldn't have access to everything. It would have to have access to it over time because it's going to be an immature OS if it's their own, like PC OS. Like, it's really the maturity of the OS that's going to be the thing that like really might get them caught up in a hiccup. That might be like their first speed bump of like, because they're pioneering and doing something that's so new.
Well, let me pivot for a quick second. Let's just say that it is true, right?
Yeah.
For the sake of this conversation, because for all intents and purposes, it just sounds like it's just going to be. I mean, it made sense in my head before this, and then having hip hop come out. I'm not saying he's definitive or anything like that, but just the fact that he's bringing it out here, talking so loudly about it, and he's like a PlayStation guy. You know what I'm saying? So like, he's a PlayStation first kind of dude. Like he likes Xbox for sure, but he's a PlayStation first kind of dude. And all his stuff normally is stuff that sounds, quote unquote, not great for Xbox and good for PlayStation. And for this to come out from him just puts a little more sauce to it. But let's just assume that this is the direction, right? I've been seeing this tweet go around from Colin Moriarty. It's from June of this year. And he put a tweet out that said, never ask a woman her age, never ask a man his salary, and never ask the incurious gamer how Microsoft will drive revenue by sending Xbox customers to Steam. How do you think, and let me put that over here. How do you think that would go down with all these people who sat there and talk so badly about Xbox having this happen and how much Steam is gonna crush them and all this other bullshit? Xbox is dead. If it turns out that PlayStation does in fact go this route, what are we how much of this is gonna be fucking crazy for them? How are they gonna explain this away?
I'm sure they'll try, but I think the number one thing that's going to happen, especially for the hardcore gamer, is the more that PlayStation imitates Xbox, the more you have to question, why don't I just have an Xbox? Because I'm saying, if the Xbox is going to let you access Steam, and if PlayStation's going to really go to PC route and have their own PC launcher that I can access via the Xbox, can I access Xbox via the PlayStation OS? Probably not. They probably won't allow it. So that's what I'm saying. When you really think about it, it's going to be why do I it's going to make you really question, why am I purchasing this device over the other device? Even if I purchase it, why don't I just download Windows onto it or download Steam OS on? If I can still access my PlayStation, all my PlayStation stuff, get my trophies, do all these other things, I can buy a PlayStation device and still put Windows on it, or it's just gonna introduce a thing of why am I still tied to this ecosystem in a way that it doesn't give me the full freedom? It's not going to give you the full freedom. Even if it adds Steam, it's probably not going to have GOG and Epic and the Xbox Store and Battle.net. They might have one store, but they're not going to have all the stores. You know what I'm saying?
So you're saying they might work out a bespoke deal with Steam and just work out a way to be all right, there's a portal to Steam that's made to work on this PlayStation device. So if you want to do that,
because it's going to be a brand new OS, so everything that it's going to take time for it to make it over there anyway. So it's not like all those launchers are going to be ready day one on this, brand new PlayStation OS, most likely.
I think the hardest part is, I think mostly that's really going to only affect a small group of people. Think about how many people on PlayStation buy games. Right?
Yeah, it is
it's a very small group of people that are going to be feeling that way. I think most people are just going to buy the next PlayStation because it's the next console of their lineage of consoles, right?
Yeah, I don't think people are going to be that way, because if we're talking about the devices being over $1,000, I don't think people are going to just be that way. I think people are going to, at that point, really survey the market and see what makes the most sense for them. When we're talking about spending, anything that adds an extra zero to what the price of the consoles currently are.
I got to tell you, I don't believe that there's a world that we live in that if Xbox or PlayStation sells a box that's $1,000 or more, that they also don't have the equivalent Series S model that is way cheaper. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you come out as Xbox or PlayStation saying, hey, we're taking the next generation to the next level. It's $1,200 for the box or $1,100 for the box, and that's it. I think you have $1,000 box, you have a $600 drop console that's going to be focus on 1080p, focus on playing all the same shit, but at a lower refresh rate, but have all the new bells and whistles, all the new AI shit, all the new stuff that's in the console in there as well, but just focus on a smaller PowerPoint, right? Like, I don't think that it would go, I don't think they would go that far to just make it that way, even though we know that, or we believe that this generation and honestly the previous generation, I think these generations are sticking around. So I don't think you're going to have that type of problem where if you want to play the new games, you'll have them. But yeah, if you're going to go to this next gen, I don't know if Xbox does it next year, it's going to be fucking hard to like know that the next PlayStation doesn't have it. Like that's theoretically, if they're not blinded by it, that's what IGN and all these other places are going to focus on, right? If they do some type of comparison, right? On Xbox, you have access to this. On PlayStation, you do not. On Xbox, you have access to PlayStation games through here. On PlayStation, you can buy Xbox games through here, but it's not all of Xbox's games. Whereas on PlayStation, on Xbox, you have access to the vast majority of PlayStation titles.
Well, they're gonna have a launcher at some point. So once they have a launcher, then it's the whole shebang.
I mean, yes, if that's the case, then it would be. Then at that point, though, like think about it this way: that's already taking place. Like think about it for a second. If PlayStation has their own store and they put it up on PC, and now you can literally just download it on your Xbox, and now you have a PlayStation and an Xbox on there. What's the difference for PlayStation later? Like, why not just fucking release it so that you can have access to the other things?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it just makes sense, right? I don't know. It seems silly to not to just not let it happen.
I just gotta see how they execute it. It's gonna be interesting because, like I said, whatever they do is gonna be a brand new OS. Like they're not gonna throw Steam OS on there for sure. It's gonna be PSOS or whatever. That's a dumbass name, but that's what they're gonna call it, PSOS.
PSOS. I mean, that doesn't have a bad. That's not bad, right? PSOS. I think that works for them. I can see them doing it. PSOS.
Better than Pisser.
It is better than Pisser. It is that. The other alternative to this is that people will go around once this becomes real and start being like, oh, it's cool now. You know, Xbox didn't do anything. It was PlayStation who did this. You know what I'm saying? Like they're trying to rewrite history and tell you that is like they're trying to do now, right? Like they're literally like you got dudes out here literally trying to convince you about that cross buy that PlayStation did when you used to get, you know, on select games, on very select games, a version of the game on PlayStation 3 and a version on the Vita, right? Very select games. It wasn't just across the board every game. Very select games. So in that scenario, you have people coming out here like this is their new thing. Remember, we did it first. So what do we? You know what I'm saying? So like you start seeing them slowly just accept what's going on, right? Like they accept it, they're okay with it, but they now have to reframe it in a way that works better for them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's
they're losing their narratives, like because they have no choice, but they've been dragged into the deep part of the ocean with Microsoft. That's what they've done. They've been dragged into waters that they're not sure PlayStation can swim in.
I don't know. I'm definitely intrigued. I do like the fact that this rumor came out. I do like the fact that he came out and did this because at the end of the day, he he just putting it out there kind of planted that seed. And like we gotta let me ask you this. This is another question that really kind of gets to me when it comes to this stuff. You know, obviously, even in our chat, right? You have people who are saying, I don't think PlayStation would do this, right? I don't think PlayStation would do this. And I guess my question is, how long are we going to keep saying we don't think PlayStation would do this?
No, I think they'll do it.
Because if you realistically look at it, they went ahead and they dropped a day one game on their platform and on a Nintendo Switch, Lego Horizon, right?
Yeah.
First party IP. Never thought that they would do it, right? Like if we were having this conversation on the show before we knew, because it was announced right away, right? It was announced. It's not like they did a sneak peek of the Lego and it was only talked about for PlayStation, and then we were having conversations to see if it would come anywhere else, right? It was announced, boom, PlayStation, Nintendo, right away. But if we were having that conversation, I want you guys, excuse me, I want you guys to really think about it, okay? Rewind time before that game dropped. Hold on. Before that game dropped, if we went ahead and talked about it on this show and said, man, you know, Lego Horizon is talked about coming to PlayStation, but it just makes sense for Nintendo Switch. It's a Lego game. That audience would eat it up. Would you guys say, yeah, they'll do that? Or would you be saying, I don't think they would do that? Like, realistically speaking, before it actually got announced, if we had rumors about it, would you guys have said that? I'm willing to bet that most of you who are saying it now would have said it then. I don't think PlayStation would do that. Helldivers 2, rumored for over a year. I saw the back-end website over a year ago, and we talked about it. Right? We talked about it on the show. But people didn't think so. People didn't believe. And then what happened? Helldivers is on Xbox. Yes, another one where I don't think PlayStation would do that. Right?
Uh-huh.
Now, I don't know how many times that has to happen before we stop that, but also, how is it that Phil Spencer, all these people, they come out, they say something, and it's like, fuck you, Phil, we don't care what you say, blah, 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 blah. All right, you're lying, right? But PlayStation has literally come out multiple times and have essentially told us that this new future is the way. They've said it so many times where they've been talking about how all their games are going to be everywhere. It's going to be ubiquitous. Wherever there's compute power, our games are going to be. They've said this out of their mouths. They come out and said that we're using AMD tech because we want to make it easier. We want to make the features more usable. We want to make it more streamlined across where other devices, other platforms will have what we have. How does that not, like, they're telling you that this is the scenario, yet they're not believed. They release Helldivers on Xbox, they're still not believed. They release Switch, Lego Horizon on Switch day one, they're still not believed. What is it that has to happen for people to stop? You know what I'm saying? For them to stop giving them this out. Yeah, because they seem to be doing everything. I mean, listen, we literally saw them, literally their own job description, hiring somebody to bring shit to Xbox.
Yeah. I mean, I've been saying PlayStation would go this way for a long time. So I don't think that they're not gonna go this way. It's just, like I said, it's just gonna be the maturity of their OS. Like Steam OS wasn't rocking and rolling day one, but people who are fans of Steam like really stuck it out. until it got to the point where it is now, and you know they actually love Steam OS, even though it does have its small issues where the anti-cheat games don't work. They've found workarounds for that, and they enjoy those games however they enjoy them. It's just going to be interesting to see if PlayStation fans have that same energy, especially if PlayStation launches a PC launcher, and you can kind of get the same experience. Like you can, once you're in the PlayStation launcher, it doesn't matter what the box is. You're gonna enjoy the experience, especially if you can hook up whatever controller you want to it. Like, do you care what the box looks like that much? So it's just going to be interesting because people are just going to be in this wild free world where the box itself doesn't necessarily mean it's what it used to.
And I think that's where they get a little. I think that's where they get nervous, where they get scared. Do you think that's the case? Do you think that's where like these PlayStation fanboys who are so caught up in the sales and the consoles and all this other shit, do you think that's where they get scared? They feel like if it's no longer a battle for where you buy your console based off of the games that are locked down to it, and instead they have to rely on for the hardcore buyers, right? For the buyers in the know, they're gonna have to rely on the quality of the box, right? On the services they provide and how open it is for the customer to make the decisions they want to make when doing this. Do you think that's what's stressing these people out? Why they're so concerned with it?
I mean, I think people's concern is that they're mimicking Xbox and they don't want to admit that Xbox has been right. And I think that's what I think that's the only concern is people have been beating up Xbox for so long that when they see PlayStation like following right behind them, they don't really know how to handle it. And it's kind of like a spit in the face a little bit, because they spend their whole day making Twitter narratives about how Xbox is doing everything wrong when actually they're not.
Let me ask you this, and before we kind of wrap up this topic and move on, if there's a lot of words on why it doesn't make sense for this to happen on PlayStation because there's no benefit to it. Okay. Is there a benefit that you can see for PlayStation to do this?
The benefit is that they stay in the race. They don't fall into the world of Nintendo. If you want PlayStation to fall into the world of Nintendo, just let them keep doing things the way that they're doing, because eventually these products and services are going to continue to improve, and it's going to get to the point where the box as we currently know it will not necessarily be able to keep up with where the majority of gamers are going with how they're gaming. More gamers are moving to mobile and PC than they are to these locked box experiences, and if PlayStation decides to stay in that lane, they will eventually become a niche device like the Switch. While the Switch is a niche device that sells very well, it is still niche in that it's a bespoke piece of hardware compared to what else is on the market, and everything else is opening up. So they're going to put themselves in a position where it's just these two companies that are holding this specific line, where the rest of the gaming market is going somewhere else. And that could be dangerous, especially when they want to make the same type of games that Xbox makes.
Well, I think for me, when I look at PlayStation, I think what you said is essentially spot on, because again, I think PlayStation knows really well that they are, unfortunately, yes, they are the box that the casuals choose, which is great for them in that respect. But they're not necessarily the place where the most hardcore gamers go, right? Like the people who spend the most on gaming, right? And I think it's important for them to stay in the conversation by having, access to at least Steam when Xbox is going to be so open going forward. I think it's the only thing that will keep them relevant for the most hardcore spenders, right? And I think that's the biggest thing, because if they do it again, like, we're going based off of all this information, all these rumors that have come out, but if they do what we expect them to do, which is to release a PC app, I mean, you're now putting the access to be able to get trophies and do all that shit anywhere, right? Anywhere that can download that app. So, they want that money, no matter how you cut it. There's no way to reach in to the PC player's wallet for them outside of just throwing their games on the store, which is great. But that is a once in a blue scenario, right? Where they can, if they have access or a way for these PC players to have access to the stuff that they love while also possibly dipping into the PlayStation ecosystem, I mean, that's a win for them, right? That'll be a huge W for them. I think that's the name of the game. I think that's why this will happen. Ultimately, they need to be able to still attract the hardcore gamers, right? The people who spend money on gaming outside of just microtransactions, right? Outside of just the one game. And I think I think they're still going to want that. I don't think they're going to want to lose that. So I think that's why they'll make sure they still have that competitive, storefront with Xbox. Again, the people in the know will go ahead and know that they can get games from Steam and do this other stuff, but they don't risk losing their actual, bread and butter, which are the casuals, right? The people who are just going to go over there and play Fortnite and play Roblox and buy, skins and all this other shit, right? So let me just see before we leave. Let's see what anybody else got to say about this before we move on. I see the homie Trey Bone 48. What's up, man? Thank you for being here, brother. Says they're not sticking with the console. PlayStation is famous by name. It's like people doing the newest trend. You're somebody if you're doing what the new fad is. PlayStation was a fad, but they're dying slow quickly. I mean, yeah, I guess that makes a lot of sense, right? They have to keep up, right? Like, if they want that brand name to still resonate, they have to keep up with the baseline, right? With the baseline, with the base minimum of what people are doing. And I think although Xbox goes the extra mile by allowing you to have every store, to your heart's content, I think that going ahead and at least having Steam will at least keep it in the conversation where you don't have to be like, oh, you don't have access to Steam, right? Steam is the biggest, right? So all the other ones are way smaller. Steam is the biggest one. Let's get the homie Dark Angelic in the building. Thank you for being here, brother. Thank you for that $2 which says, ponies, we did it first. Xbox, we did it right. Facts. Which is funny because a lot of the same dynamic is typically reserved for like Android and Apple, right? Where Android has a shit ton of features they do first, and then Apple goes ahead and be like, hey, we're coming out with this new thing. It's an amazing thing, and we created it, even though it was already available somewhere else, but we did it better. That's kind of the excuse me, that situation.
It's kind of interesting because when they bring it into their closed ecosystem, it actually, in a way, ends up working better for that ecosystem as long as they all have the same device. Like,
Facts.
stupid stuff like Invisible Ink. Like, Invisible Ink is cool, but it's only cool if you have an iPhone. Like,
Now, King Web brings up a point. He says, so ponies will pay for PlayStation Plus and Steam will be free. No way Sony does that. They're not going to let PlayStation Plus be free. King Web, first of all, thank you for being here, brother. Appreciate you. I feel like although Steam is technically free to play, I don't necessarily think that will be true. I don't think that has to be true on a PlayStation platform. Like, theoretically speaking, I don't necessarily actually, I actually don't really know how it works. Obviously on the handheld, it's more PC by nature, so it's already down that route. But if PlayStation were to put Steam on there, I mean, I would imagine they would still gatekeep online play the same way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think they still would be like, hey, no matter what game you're playing, you're still got it. Like, you're on through our box.
Oh, that is another thing. Are they going to keep the paywall up for online play? That's because they're going to have their own OS.
I mean,
like, Xbox didn't really have a choice because Windows already allowed free online play. But if they make their own bespoke OS, would you still have to pay for online? That's an interesting question.
That's a good question, right? That's a really good question. That I don't know. I mean, I feel like they would still want to keep that, right? They still want to keep the paywall, right? So that they can go ahead and make money in that way. So it's like, yeah, you could buy your games on Steam and yeah, you could play online, assuming that you have PlayStation Plus.
Can you imagine they put Steam games behind the online play behind the paywall?
I would believe it to be true. I'd be like, yo, if you want to play,
that'd be hilarious.
You can't come over here just to play Steam games and not have, if you're gonna play online, not have our service. I feel like that's a possibility. I feel like that's something that they can do.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past them, but it would be hilarious.
I mean, it's just the reality of what
we would be laughing at them.
Got the homie Fillmore Pockets in the building. What's up, fam? Thank you for being here, brother. It says, is PlayStation going to do a ROG PlayStation or create PlayStation dedicated handheld?
I don't think PlayStation has the luxury of going the OEM route because they are a hardware company. So it kind of makes it harder for them to do OEMs. Like, I can't think of, Sony OEMs that have existed in the past. And I think they're kind of limited in that way because they are a hardware company.
I mean, they would have to go to ROG and be like, hey, we want you to do what you did with Xbox and go ahead and make it so that it launches straight into the PlayStation, the PlayStation Store, the PlayStation ecosystem. But there's a back end way to go ahead and, switch over to these other stores if you so chose. I don't know which one they do, to be honest with you, Fillmore, because I mean, look, I think handhelds have become much more lucrative right now. I think handhelds are the hot, the hot thing in tech. I think everybody's excited for the idea of having handhelds that you could bring with you and then, docking it somewhere to go ahead and play on the full screen if you want. I think handhelds are crushing it right now. And I could definitely, we know PlayStation's making one. It's just whether if it feels like they're not willing to take the risk on their main PlayStation. Like on their main PlayStation, they want to work with AMD so directly to basically, cater to whatever other box. So they're going to try to make their box as essentially as generic as possible. So does that behoove them to go ahead and now make a bespoke PlayStation handheld that's so only theirs and they put all their energy into? I don't know. I feel like the pisser was like the last thing that they put all of their sole focus on, and it didn't do well for them. And I don't know if they're trying to alleviate some of that risk. You know what I'm saying? Get rid of that.
You know it's bad when the internal devs
fear.
are like, we don't know what to do with this shit.
Seriously, that's a big problem. That's a big problem. The homie Mac22 TH54 in the building. What's up, man? Thank you for being here. It says CMoney, PlayStation trying to stay relevant. That's why they're doing it. I agree, man. I kind of think that that's what it would be. I think it's them trying to be relevant, like stay relevant, right? Like I think the casuals are still going to be there, but I really think that you're going to want to make sure that these more hardcore people, have a reason to stay on that platform. And Powerballs comes up, and this will be the last one, and then we'll switch over. Says, did you know that Hip Hop Gamer had an interview with someone from A&D? Yeah, it's at the end of that video, actually, where basically he talks about GTA, because he also talks about GTA 6 and how it runs well on a 5080 or whatever. And he was talking to an AMD guy, and an AMD guy talked, obviously he's talking about the PC, the laptop, and then he brought up GTA this year, which sounds a little like weird, right? Like why would the PC dude be talking about how well it's going to play this year, which is a little wild. But it also was, and I think this was earlier in the year, because then he also talks about the handheld, and this was before the Xbox ROG Ally, the Xbox Ally X and stuff was announced, and they kind of go into a little bit about the idea of ROG and what they're trying to do with their partners and trying to make it something that might be there. So yeah, he did have an interview with AMD, and yeah, I mean, we will see. This doesn't seem too far-fetched. This seems like something that makes sense to me. Steam is just inevitable, or at least like other stores. But he even not to bring it back, but like he even talked about launching other OSs. Did you hear that part where he's like, it's gonna like be able to launch other OSs?
In regards to the PlayStation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
was he talking about
he said
launching
dual
a
OS. It sounds like it's a dual OS. It's not like he was talking like a
OS,
dual
plug in a
OS, like a
PlayStation
dual
and then
OS
switch
device.
over to Steam or some shit?
Yeah. Or yeah, maybe.
Is there a possibility that Steam just wants to collaborate with PlayStation on the next box?
I mean, possibly. Like if the Steam box does not work out, the Steam machines don't work out, it could be a contingency for them. If this doesn't work, let's just, we'll build it into the PlayStation and we'll get a cut.
I mean, like, I feel like that conversation, if Steam approached them like, hey, listen, let's help each other. You know what I'm saying? We'll go ahead, put Steam on your box, and we get more reach and you stay more relevant to the conversation because everybody else is going to be putting Steam on there in their own way. Right. But let's go ahead and let's have Steam OS on your box. I mean, I guess it's all a possibility, right? Anything can happen in this world. It just depends on how it shakes out. All right. Let's go ahead. I think we covered this. So Steam on PlayStation 6 is going to happen at some point. I believe it. Let's move on to what we so didn't make the cut is what we're going to go to, and this is going to be a bunch of other shit that's going down. Obviously not everything can happen at the same time. So actually what I'll do is I'll get out of this one and just go back here. There we go. Okay, so let me take my chapter here. 145. Okay. All right, so this is going to be Didn't Make the Cut. We'll talk about some of the other news that's happening in the industry right now. So, one of the things that I saw here that was interesting, and I don't know what this is ultimately going to mean, but it seems like a lot. Shinobi put out here that the Saudi fund, like the people who are buying out EA or whatever, and allowing them private, they're going to own almost all of EA with 93.4% after the buyout. And like, that's a lot. Like, that is way more than controlling. Like, they can basically do anything they want, EA, after that point, right? Like, there's no like EA being, oh, we're gonna make our own decisions here. Like that.
Nope.
That's like, they may be working on their own, theoretically making their own decisions, but until they're not, right? Like, until
the only people who would have say so at EA is the Saudis and the license holders for the games that EA holds licenses for, like, the NFL games or Star Wars games or something like that. Other than that, developers wouldn't really have much say.
Which is risky because, I mean, like, at the end of the day, we already know, like, when the stock, well, let me ask you this. So before I even go into that, what do you think is worse? Do you think it's worse for them to be beholden to the Saudi fund or to the stockholders?
I don't know. I think in this case you kind of want to stick to the devil, because
The stockholders, right?
I think you kind of want to stick to the devil, and it's because we haven't really seen a lot of these Saudi investors or Middle Eastern investors have a big play in gaming yet, so you don't know, like, kind of what their goals are with gaming projects. So it'll be interesting. Like, I don't have anything against them per se, but it's just like, I know what I'm getting with EA. It feels like, with the stockholders in charge, you kind of felt like EA was getting on the right track these past couple of years with the Dead Space remake and, just some of the different games that they've put out in recent years. Their live service games have gotten a bit better. The rebranding of FIFA to FC has worked out. They've been doing some good things over there. So, now you got this new group in, and we just got to see what their true intention is with gaming, and is there something where there's a passion behind making EA better, or are they just trying to, like, kind of gonna siphon it off in a few years after they do whatever to make their money?
I think that's the biggest thing for me, man, when I think about this, because if you have the stockholders, you obviously want to make them happy, but you're still the one making the decisions that are, trying to make them happy, right? Like, you're trying to do the right thing and try to keep your gamers happy, but also balance that out. And, if you have an up or down year, you can try to talk your way out of scenarios with them. Whereas I think, and to be clear, it's not about this one, the Saudi fund. It could be any company who owns 93% of EA. At that point, like, you are in a scenario where if the people who now own 93% decide that they don't like your direction, they can force that direction on you. And if you don't want to play ball, it's theirs to do with what they would want to do with it, right? So if they decide that they don't like, the way the games are selling, and they want you to make them cheaper, or they want you to make them smaller, or they want you to, put more microtransactions in them, they want to do what the industry was leaning towards before, which is like, hey, you got to make no more single player games. Everything has to have a micro transaction spin. Everything has to be a live game. I mean, that could be possible. It could happen because of the ownership now. The complete ownership of EA is to somebody else. 93%. You only keep 6 point. Like, that's nothing, bro. That's nothing. So that is, I would say that's scary, right? Like, I would say that's a scary scenario for EA. They do have those license deals that they, are still making with Disney, with like Star Wars and stuff like that. And obviously they have NFL and all this other stuff. Like, it seems really weird that they're going to have so much control by someone else. And, I was actually going to go there too, because it could spook them. Fillmore Pocket says talent retention could become an issue for EA if the new owners aren't careful. I mean, that too, right? Like, you can really be in a scenario where people are like, we're done. We're done. And we don't trust this. Or, I see Cage in the building. What's up, man? Thank you for being here, brother. He makes a statement and he says Saudis equal peace out woke BioWare, right? So, being woke or not, whichever scenario that is, the point is can now all of a sudden the developers be, hindered? Can they be forced to not talk about certain things, or forced to, make certain type of games, certain type of ways, right? Not that we, agree or disagree with whatever games are being made by people. They make whatever we want. It's our choice whether we want to buy them. But I mean, do you end up in a place where similar to I mean, God, that's crazy, because PlayStation is such a shit show right now too, because they're the same thing, right? We learned from our boy Shuhei, right? Damn, I blanked on his name. I was like, man, he's gone already. I forgot his name. That, when the developers know that PlayStation has a certain agenda, they pitch games that fit that agenda so that they can get greenlit, right? So I mean, at the end of the day, are you going to end up in that same scenario where these people or these developers are going to be like, all right, I got to pitch this new game. Let's go ahead and pitch a game that we think or know that they're going to want us to be making, right? Which is, the exact opposite of what it is on Xbox, and why we love the assortment of games we get here, because they do go ahead and have that freedom, have that ability to make whatever they want. So, I mean, now you're in not whatever they want, like willy-nilly, but like they can pitch their own ideas, and it doesn't have to fit in some agenda, and the creativity exists on Xbox. That can go away completely with EA. Not that they've not some will argue that they don't really have that creativity anymore, because they're not really making too many different types of games. But they have, they've taken some gambles. Wasn't that oh man, what was that game that they ended up shutting it down? It was really pretty. Immortal.
You're talking about not Immortals. They just Anthem.
No. Anthem. That was older. That was the problem. But there was like this. They were working with some company that was making like a first-person shooter. Remember, it's like one of the first Unreal Engine 5 games. It was really, really nice looking, but it didn't do shit. It was like Immortals.
There was a game, I think it was only called Immortals
of Avion or something like that, or something.
Oh yeah, Immortals. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Some shit like that. But they tried, they tried different shit and it didn't work, right? But is that what it is now? It's like they're done. Yeah, Immortals of Avion. Okay, thanks, Javon. So it's now they're looking at it and they're like, no, you can't make those games, right? You can't try to make those games. We're not doing that. EA used to have like this label, right, that they would make independent stuff, easier for these people. Like, are they going to not do that, right? Like Split Fiction, right? That's a great game that came out. But like we like, you heard Doodle and I so frustrated with them because we had that EA Pro shit, and it's supposed to be every game that comes out from EA, published by them, is on that subscription service. And they went ahead and did not put it there. They did not put Split Fiction in that service. And, that's just one example of how they already kind of cut corners, right? They're already kind of the trust right there by saying, hey, it's supposed to be all our games, but no, this game might actually do well, so we're not going to put it there. Like, that's crazy, right? So how does this spiral? How does this keep going with having another, these owners who are going to be like, no, you're not going to put this on there, or no, it doesn't make sense. This is not going to make us money, or no, this is not making us money. I gotta agree. Pragmatic Eagle, what's up, man? Thank you for being here, brother. Says EA hasn't been creative since EA Big went away. EA Big was dope. EA Big made a lot of cool shit. That's the truth. That's the truth. I don't know. I mean, ultimately, we'll leave it with this. Pragmatic says EA is finally done. I mean, what do you? Your honest opinion? Are we seeing just the first steps of EA biting the dust, or becoming some new, entity?
I would say EA goes one of two ways in this instance. They either get stripped down for parts, kind of like Embracer Group's doing right now, or they become, bigger and better than ever before. I don't think there's a real middle ground there, because they took on a massive amount of debt to make that purchase. So they have to, make that company profitable from the purchase in a very quick amount of time. So with that being the case, it's going to be interesting to see how they go about doing that. And if they go about it by making the company better and more profitable, then great. But if they ended up, really stripping down EA for parts, we might not recognize them in a few years.
Well, let me ask you this. With the new owners, Mass Effect, right? They just came out and told us that that's still in development, right? Like, that's still coming out.
Mm-hmm.
If they go ahead and if that flops, right? Like, if it comes out and it just doesn't hit the way that they needed to hit, we finally see BioWare night. I don't see them being sold. I don't think there's a buyer in the world who's lining up for BioWare.
Yeah, I'm not sure if anyone's buying BioWare, because the people that were originally there, a lot of those people have gone. It's been a very long time. And the people that made the studio aren't part of the studio. So I could see that happening. I could see them going the way of the dust, or I could see someone purchasing them just because of, maybe if they don't purchase the studio, maybe they purchase the naming rights so they can name their next studio BioWare, just because of the power of the brand name. So I think there's power in the name BioWare still. So I
think
can
so?
see it. I think it can stick around.
I mean, they would have to do like somebody buys BioWare and then they announce like somebody who was key to the beginning of BioWare when they were making all that great shit is back running the studio and is, getting back some of the old team or shit like that. Like, that's the only way I think that a BioWare sell-off and announcement happens, where people are like, oh shit, okay, maybe BioWare is going to come back. But I don't know. I think that would be a hard pill to swallow for those fans of BioWare, because it's on the chopping block, right? I think we all know that. At this point, legacy doesn't pay the bills. You know what I'm saying? I don't think EA gives a shit how long BioWare has been around or what they've done in the past. If they can't deliver something that people give a shit about, I think that's the I think that's a big problem. I'm That Ninja says Madden, FIFA, Battlefield did numbers. EA will bounce back. So Battlefield, we know, did do a lot of numbers. We also know that Battlefield is sinking relatively quickly, right? Like the numbers were high and now they're going low. They did a free to play week or weekend or some shit, and that really didn't do too much of anything. So I don't know if, like, I feel like Battlefield is gonna be fine as far as like a Battlefield game. I think it sold what it needed to sell to prove itself. So like the initial sale was enough, I think. It's just gonna be how they keep them coming back and how they do all that stuff is going to be the question. And what they're going to end up doing is doing cool skins that they said that they wouldn't do. And that's just going to be the reality because it's not enough. Also, they don't have FIFA anymore. They're doing their own, sports, whatever the hell it's called, sports club or some shit. EA football club, I think. So like that's cool and all, but what if somebody else says, fuck it, let's go buy that FIFA license and start selling a FIFA game, a FIFA soccer game again. And people are like, oh shit, a new FIFA. And they go back.
That's a tough thing to, only 2K could probably do that.
Well, you remember Konami has Pro Evolution that's supposedly also a pretty successful soccer game. If they go ahead and they say, fuck it, let's just get that FIFA license and take a bigger hit on our profits on that. But how much more can we sell as finally being FIFA and not the made up name, right?
Yeah,
so
for sure. I see what you're saying, but it's just that FIFA license isn't cheap. EA got out of that for a reason.
Well, they got out of it because they believed that their game had enough clout to go ahead and continue on with their formula with the cards and all this other stuff. But you just never know. And I think, who was it? Fillmore, right? He says if EA loses their license exclusivity, especially for sports, EA could be done. The original IP catalog doesn't really hit outside of like 3 games. That's the big thing, right? That's the big thing. I feel like look at the NBA, right? NBA has now kind of, well, actually, they've always been open, right?
NBA's license is open, yeah.
Yeah, it's always been open, but like nobody really wants to do it. But lately, they have some games now that are being made. People are taking, some shots with that. So like you never know, right? You never know what will come from that. And I don't even know what this is, but Pragmatic says the NFL will be sued if the NFL remains exclusive to EA. Is that true?
No, that's already been done. Basically, as a Madden player, I can kind of break it down.
Okay. Good.
EA actually reached out to the NFL when the negotiation window opened, and EA asked if the NFL would open the license up, and the NFL told them, no, you can purchase the exclusivity agreement or we can sell the exclusivity agreement to someone else. So they pretty much forced EA to purchase the exclusive sim rights to NFL games. Now you can purchase arcade rights to make an arcade style game of an NFL property, but EA is going to maintain the simulation football rights to the NFL games for I think the next 5 years.
So we're saying that Madden specifically wants one person making a game.
No, the NFL wants one person making.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, not Madden. NFL wants one person making the game.
Yeah, because the license is so expensive that EA didn't want to have to pay for it anymore. But NFL kind of bullied them and said, well, you either make the game and pay for the license, or we sell the license to somebody else and let them make the game.
Now, Pragmatic comes back with this, says yes. And now that EA is going to be owned by a foreign entity, the NFL will be sued.
We'll have to see.
I don't know how that will work, but I mean, it is interesting, right? Like it's I don't know. I don't know how they would see it. I mean, we're in a global economy. I don't really know 100% how necessarily that works. I don't know how much investment NFL has from people from, outside of these outside of the country, but I mean, I guess that's possible. Which I mean, that will really fuck EA up, bro. Like there's certain things that they bank on, right? And we've talked about in the past, like if Xbox bought them, what do they get? Well, they get the yearly revenue from Madden, they get the yearly revenue from their soccer game, they get the yearly revenue from their hockey, they get the Apex Legends, they get all, what I'm saying? Like, so they get some recurring revenue, which makes it enticing for them. But who knows what this could do. Pragmatic says they already got sued when that EA versus 2K thing was going on 20 years ago. I mean, it's possible.
I don't know who was suing. That's the question. Who's gonna be the suer?
Yeah, that is the question. I don't know 100%. But look, at the end of the day, oh shit, Powerball says most of the BF6 loss of players was just going back to COD, Black Ops 7. Let's be fair. I mean, we always knew that was going to be that would be the case, right? There's no.
And Mark Raiders is out there too, doing this thing.
Yeah. I mean, EA's in a tough place. And the fact that they went private, and now the Saudi firm is going to, or the Saudi fund is going to own them essentially outright for the most part, which is wild. It is alarming for anybody who's a big EA fan. You should be concerned. I'm not thinking like I'm feeling like there's a distinct possibility of a problem in the future for what EA has going on. And having all that power on somebody that's not theirs. It's different if they own it, right? If they own it themselves, if it's EA bought itself out and it's theirs, that's a different beast. But being owned by this other Saudi fund is essentially like, I feel like it's a worse scenario than the stockholders. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's a worse scenario because at least with them, any bit of news, anything can kind of make things better or worse, right? Illusions can make things better or worse for the stockholders. Whereas with the Saudi fund, there's no illusions. It's just what are the dollars being brought in versus what we're spending every day. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it. That's the only benchmark that's there. And I don't think, we know enough about the Saudi fund where it's like, oh no, they have this huge like record, and maybe they do and I'm just not aware, but like they have this huge record of being gaming friendly, and you know what I'm saying, like I just don't know what else they've done to go ahead and be trusted, right?
Yeah, but they gotta earn it, like, because this is their first time entering into the gaming industry to my knowledge, so you don't really have a track record. And this is kind of a risky buy for them in a sense, because they took on a lot of debt to make this purchase, so they got to make that money back, and they got to pay. I think they got to pay back JP Morgan Chase in a relatively quick period of time. They don't have a large turnaround time.
Yeah, which is, we'll see, man. We'll see what they do and how they do it, because I don't think you're gonna magically be able to get more people to buy your shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you're gonna have to figure out how to make this happen one way or another. So we will see. But let me take the quick chapter here. All right, moving on. Now that Xbox has officially entered the handheld space, I am now very interested in the handheld space. And I mean that not just with the handheld, not the hardware itself, right? I know Xbox entered the hardware space with the ROG, Xbox Ally and Ally X, but the software suite is now available, right? Now it's out there. Now any handheld that you go ahead and purchase, any handheld that comes out, any handheld that's announced, you can turn into an Xbox handheld, right? Like just is what it is. You can do that. So now, just like if I was looking at any other hardware, right? I'm always on the lookout. And I see here that and I want to talk about it real quick. Let me just pull it up. I'll bring this one up here. Right, there we go. Let's bring it up. All right, so we'll do this. There we go. Okay, so Ayaneo announces a monster of a new gaming handheld. The Ayaneo Next 2 sounds like it's trying to one-up every gaming handheld on the market. Definitely piqued my interest just from the headline alone. So over the holiday weekend, Ayaneo announced the Next 2, a Windows-based handheld gaming PC. It looks beefy, full-featured, and from here, a whole lot like an overpowered, probably very expensive Steam Deck running a worse operating system. Oh shit, I didn't notice that. The Ayaneo Next 2 features a 9-inch up to 165 hertz OLED display with a 2400 by 1504 resolution and a peak brightness of 1100 nits. The company says it's powered by an AMD Ryzen AI Max Plus 395 chipset, whatever that is, the same powerful chip used by the Asus ROG Flow Z13 gaming laptop, which earned a 9 out of 10 for its impressive game performance in IGN's review earlier this year. Damn, so now we're moving from handheld chips to just laptop chips. We're just putting them in there. Holy shit. The Next 2 has an 85 watt thermal design power, or roughly how high its power consumption ceiling is. It's also got dual cooling fans and an 115 watt or WH battery, a huge gain over the original Next, which had just a 47 what was it watt per hour battery. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It also outdoes the 80 watt per hour capacity of the Asus ROG Xbox Ally X. Whether that translates to longer life between charges remains to be seen, though, especially with that 85 watt TDP. 85 watt TDP on the Ally, you're doing what, 35 watts, right? Like that's like the highest.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, that's a fucking big difference. Taking a page from Valve's book, Ayaneo put 2 touchpads on the front of the Next 2, which the company writes support customizable key mapping and intuitive gesture control. Otherwise, the console has 2 Hall effect joysticks, Hall effect triggers with 2-stage trigger locks, 4 bumper buttons, 4 face buttons, and 4 configurable rear buttons. And there's an 8-way D-pad that looks similar to the one Microsoft uses on its Xbox wireless controller. It's a lot. It sounds like Ayaneo is going hard with this handheld. Nearly everything about it sounds like the company's trying to one-up every handheld on the market today. Ayaneo didn't say when the Next 2 is coming out or offer pricing information, but the company isn't shy about pricing premium handhelds like, well, premium handhelds. See the $1,265 starting price of the Ayaneo Next Advance. Oh, shit. Okay. So all right. So first of all, the handheld itself, I mean, it looks pretty cool. I like the look of it.
Yeah.
That being said, I don't know, man. For me, I'm very much looking like this is like the next frontier for me. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm like, okay, I love my Xbox ROG Ally X. Like I love it so much. But what do I actually love most about it? Well, I love how comfortable it is. I love the power that it has. But I really love that full screen experience.
Yeah.
And now that full screen experience is everywhere. So now, I'm out here, my eyes are, you know what I'm saying? Like I see a pretty new hardware and I'm like, oh shit. All right, what's going on over here? And it's 9 inches, the screen, which is way bigger, and is OLED, which I think the screen on the Xbox Ally is fantastic, but I think, there's no denying, like it's not it's it's not an
Not
OLED.
OLED.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's not an OLED. I've been recently playing. Actually, I've been really buckling down, I've been almost exclusively playing for my son. I told him that I would play it. And that's Super Mario Galaxy, the first one. I never beat it. You guys heard me hate on it so many times on this channel, and I've been playing it because I told him I would, and I'm getting there. But I've been playing on the Switch too, and the screen is also not the OLED. I feel like the Switch 2 and the Xbox have a very similar screen. Like it's really nice. But I also went and I played it on the OLED that I have just to see for comparison. And the OLED is just really nice. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just really, really nice to get those real true blacks. I mean, it's just a really nice screen. And to go ahead and have that in a 9-inch form factor, like that's fire to me. Like I don't have great vision, so I need the screen, right? I need the bigger the screen, the better for me. And ultimately, it looks pretty, man. I feel like it's a good looking piece of tech. Now, I'm not familiar with Ayaneo, right? So, like, the one thing I don't know is how they handle like software updates and stuff like that. Is it strictly like just Windows? Like it's just Windows, whatever it is. I can update the handheld completely through Windows, or is there another layer like on the ROG where they have the crate and you get to the BIOS and stuff through there? Like I'm not 100% sure, but I don't know. It's definitely alluring to me. I see Freddie Fox and Bill that says, yeah, CMoney, this one is an absolute beast. I got my eye on this one. Yeah, this looks good. And I will say that having the thumb pads on there to be able to do some mouse control is a nice touch. If you do end up in certain places where if I do have to leave the Xbox experience, the full screen experience for whatever reason, and now I'm over here tapping and it's a little rougher, right? But if you have those nice scrolls, you can go ahead and act more like a mouse scenario. That might be a nice benefit. I don't know. What do you think of this, man? Are you now that you've been enlightened, right? Because this is your first outside of the Switch, right? Your first handheld. Are you in the same place that I am now, where I'm like, I'm looking everywhere, I'm like, what's going on? This looks really good. Like, are you open to doing another one in the future or switching out of it if you saw something that was much better or that you felt was
better? If something's like way better and it makes sense, I would be open to getting it. I'm gonna get the same experience on either device. But as of right now, I really am satisfied with the current device that I have. But my kids see it, they kind of want a handheld, and if another handheld comes along that gives me a reason to upgrade and give them a hand-me-down, I won't scoff at the opportunity. Let's just say that.
Won't be mad at that. I get that. To be clear, it's a 9-inch screen, but it's a 165 hertz OLED, and it's a 2400 by 1504 resolution with 1100 nits peak brightness. That's what Powerball was asking.
I am concerned about this device though, having a laptop chip inside of it.
You think so?
Yeah, just
why? That's the thing I was confused about. Like, I don't know.
It's just gonna draw. It's gonna draw more power, so it's just not gonna. I know they said it has a bigger battery in it, but at the same time, it's like it's gonna draw a lot more power. So, how long does this device gonna last? Especially to my Xbox ROG Ally X. My Xbox ROG Ally X has really good battery life when it's not connected. So it allows for a a longer gaming experience when you're not plugged in. So it's something I would keep an eye on when it came to this device. Is just the fact that it is using such a large CPU, and kind of see like what the battery life looks like when it comes out. I wouldn't pre-order this device. I would kind of wait for it to come to market and see how this, because I think this is kind of the first device that's like this, where it's going to use a
laptop chip. That's why
yeah,
I'm
laptop chip. So I would kind of wait and see.
I know the downfalls, right? So the downfall is
Yeah.
that power draw, so theoretically less time on
And the screen is a lot brighter, so that's also a lot more power draw also on that part.
But like realistically speaking, the benefits, right? Like, am I going to see this huge boost? Like, is this a big performance boost over the Z2?
Yeah,
Like
I would stay interested. I wouldn't pre-order it. I would just kind of wait and see. I'll wait for it to come out and see what the battery life is like. And I think that would like kind of be like my main determining factor. Everything else about the device seems lovely. But I would just kind of wait and see what that battery life looks like. That would be like my biggest concern. Like, is it really a gaming on the go device, or is it a device that like I can chill in the house, with my feet up on the couch and a gaming handheld in my hand, but it has to kind of be plugged up at all times.
I mean,
the Hall effects are amazing. Touchpad.
Like it all sounds so dope. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It all sounds so dope. And when I go ahead and think about it, it's like, I use my handheld a lot, often, but I use it, I would say, in shorter bursts, but often. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm not sitting down for 2 hours on my handheld. It's not typical, right? Normally I'm doing 30 to 40 minute, chunks here and there. And then I might have like, my longer session might be like an hour, like right before bed or something like that. And then, I'm off. So like for me, like if the power is crazy and the thing is dying in like an hour or 45 minutes or something like that, that's not necessarily the worst case scenario for me. And I'm sure, to be fair, I'm sure you're going to be able to throttle it, right? Like, I'm sure there's some software involved where you could be like, hey, I only need 1080p. Don't forget about the 1504. Keep me at the 60 FPS. I don't need all that high resolution, brightness of the screen and all this other shit. Like, I'm sure there's going to be ways for you to manage, how crazy it gets. But like for me, I feel like that would be amazing. Razor Ultron says, CMoney, that chip's GPU is equivalent to a 4070 mobile GPU. So that's cool, but what is the Z2 equivalent, right? Like that's the gauge for me. I need to know what's the difference between the Z2 and this to see how much of a boost, it is going from the Z2 to this laptop chip. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's the bigger question for me. But that being said, I thought, listen, I saw this and I'm now, like I said, I'm in the, just like if Xbox started dropping consoles, you know what I'm saying? Like if all of a sudden you have OEMs in the market, I would always be looking, right? Like I will always be looking to see what other device they have coming out, whether it's worth upgrading, right? Like that's always going to be on my mind. Is it worth upgrading? I could trade this thing in and upgrade to this. Like that is, that's going to be the thing. So for me, something like this, I'm definitely going to keep an eye on it. I need to be able to see what comes from it because, I don't know. It's very cool to me.
I mean, if it hits off, I mean, we might see a lot more handhelds with the laptop chip inside of it. We'll just, be something to keep an eye on for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Let me take my chapter and gonna go into some slightly sad news. That's, how you see it. So we do have word that Eidos Montreal officially lets go more staff with more layoffs planned. Now, Eidos Montreal, I mean, they were the ones who were going ahead, and it was them who was working with Xbox on Perfect Dark, right? Oh, no. That Perfect Dark is the other one. Who's the Tomb Raider studio? Oh man, why am I blanking out? The Tomb Raider studio, what the hell are they called? Shit. All right. I don't know why
Crystal Dynamics.
Crystal Dynamics. Okay, there we go. So Crystal Dynamics is the one that we were working on Perfect Dark, right?
Mm-hmm.
Eidos was the one that was working with on Fable, right?
Eidos Montreal was working on.
Yeah, they're the ones that are working on Fable. So yeah, it's there is some news here, so let's read it and then we'll talk about it. It says Eidos Montreal, the studio known for developing Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy and supporting games like Tomb Raider and others, has had more layoffs. Over the last week, a number of now former employees took to LinkedIn to announce that they were no longer with the company. Hey there, gameplay director Samuel Daher wrote, was working at Eidos, loved it, and would have stayed, but times are difficult. In total, at least a dozen or more people are now looking for work. This is the second known wave of job cuts at the studio after 75 people were let go back in March. At the time, it was said that the layoffs were done due to mandates coming to an end. And while one would hope that the latest layoffs are the end, that doesn't appear to be the case. In recent days, multiple sources have explained to Insider Gaming most projects at the studio have been canceled. The focus for Eidos Montreal right now, they say, is on the work it's doing with Microsoft and Xbox on games like Grounded 2 and Fable. There's also another internal project that started development in 2019, which sources say has no way of recouping its current cost. Oh, shit. Yeah. After those projects wrap, however, additional staff reductions are already forecasted. Insider Gaming has attempted to reach out to both Eidos Montreal and his parent company, Embracer, for comment. As of right now, no responses have been received. In the past, Embracer has often declined to give an official comment on subjects such as layoffs and internal development projects. Okay. So obviously, that sucks. They have one game that, I mean, obviously, I gotta be honest with you, that does intrigue me that they have one game that they're not willing to let go of, even though they won't be able to recoup the cost of it right now. The game that they've been developing since 2019, it must be good enough that they didn't just cancel it, right? But also the fact that essentially they're just support studios for Xbox right now with Grounded 2 and Fable. Sad times that they are going through this and people are let go. That being said, I mean, Grounded 2 is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal experience, phenomenal game. If you haven't played it, I suggest you do. It's so good. And they had a hand in that. And Fable looks amazing. And I have every belief that it's going to be amazing. And they have a hand in that. I mean, at what point do we just say, you know what? Xbox likes to buy them when they're down. Just why don't you scoop them up and you get whatever they're working on since 2019?
I mean, that could be a thing. Xbox could buy them. It would be interesting to see them go down from purchasing publishers to purchasing, something a little bit smaller.
I mean, it would cost them almost nothing.
Yeah.
And although they won't be able to recoup that cost if they get purchased, that goes away essentially. And
they didn't absorb that development cost for the old game. They just absorbed the cost of purchasing the studio. So yeah,
that's what I'm saying. They just buy it. That problem kind of goes away, and go ahead and now you have another game that they've been working on for 6 years now.
Yeah. So it should be almost done.
Yeah, it should be almost done. and you got a new game. I mean, it's not announced, right? Like it's not. We don't know about it, so you get a new game for Game Pass. I mean,
I mean, it would work out for both parties because Eidos would recoup the costs on the loss that they've lost on this unannounced IP. Xbox Games, a support studio that's also capable of making its own game. And if the game is truly amazing, Xbox doesn't necessarily. I mean, you always want to make a profit, but it doesn't necessarily need to draw profit on that particular title if it increases the brand recognition of Xbox and the prestige of the studio. So
yeah, and if it helps Game Pass, right?
Yeah. So there's a way where it could be mutually beneficial for Eidos and Xbox. So I mean that could be a thing.
I mean, this is my thing, and I've always kind of felt this, and I know they have a 10-year deal with Asobo, which frankly I think is like halfway done at this point. I feel like if you have somebody who's so ingrained in the making of your game, like so critical to it, I feel like you should just own them, right?
Yeah,
It's not like they come with nothing, right? They come with the game they're working on. Theoretically, obviously, you have to work this out with Embracer, right? They have to be willing to let that game go with the deal. There's some IP that would come with that, again, assuming that you let that, assuming Embracer lets it go. But I feel like you just own them. They're cheap. You buy them. Embracer's done with the struggle. They don't have to worry about the stress. It's only upside for Xbox, right? It's only upside. They own them already. They get some new IP. They get a new game that they weren't, they didn't have yet. And there's no uncertainty for your games, right? Like if Eidos gets shut down, let's say Embracer says, fuck it, it's shut down. Well, now the hands that you had that were familiar with Grounded, that were familiar with Fable are gone. Right.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I guess theoretically you could hire people, but, I think there's value to the name Eidos Montreal. I think they can have a comeback under the Microsoft banner. Cause I got to tell you, I don't know if any of you guys have played it, but that Deus Ex game, Human Revolution, was phenomenal. I mean, it's old as shit now, but it was really, really, really good. And I think maybe a little ahead of its time. And I don't think it got the kind of the praise that it should have. I think it was a better game than it kind of was received. And you bring that back, right? There's going to be a lot of excitement around that. You bring next gen Deus Ex, you let them kind of have that creative freedom to just go wild. And make what they would have made if they had the ability to do that. I mean, that's
I
mean,
just
there's
letting those games breathe in Game Pass, those old games that people didn't know about. I mean, Xbox has a really good way of slowly releasing the older games into their service that you actually go back and get a chance to, try them out at least.
Agreed. Yeah, I don't know. When I look at that, I just feel like there's definitely potential there. And again, like my biggest thing is firming up that security of your development of the games you currently have, right? Because again, if you guys haven't, man, Grounded is a fantastic experience now. Like Grounded 1, I played for a little while and I thought it was cool, but I kind of fell out of it and I didn't continue it. Whereas this, they just took everything to the next level. They just made everything so much better, so much more engaging. The story is so much more engaging. Like, I don't know how much it sounds like. I feel like Eidos actually had a lot to do with Grounded 2. And that's the way they kind of made it seem. So yeah, man, firm it up, man. I don't know what you guys think in the chat, but I kind of feel like it should just happen. Right?
Yeah.
I feel like it makes sense.
Oh,
Go
you know
ahead
what?
and-
You know what I said? Acquisition season starts like late January to February. I expect there to be like some sort of announcement.
yeah.
So
I mean,
this could be one
I
of
feel
them.
like it's time. Listen, I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting. Right? He said that was it Satya said that they were going to double down, right? Even more investment.
Yeah.
You know, that sounds like they want to grow more. All
Yeah.
that stuff is behind them now with the old acquisitions. So now they got more freedom. They can go ahead and really, you know, try to
Even with
boost.
the whole 30% thing, they said they anticipate getting to that number through inorganic growth. So there is still plans at Microsoft to allow Xbox to still make purchases. So we'll just have to see how that goes.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, then you know, it's time, man. It's time. We need to go ahead and just
Yeah,
pull
it
the
feels like
trigger.
it's been like 3 years since they made an acquisition. Probably because the ABK thing was so long, but it feels like that.
That's possible. That's possible.
It's probably it's been like 2 years since the ABK acquisition closed, but it feels longer because the trial took like 18 months or something like that.
Yeah, the trial took a long time, and then afterwards there was still like murmurs of them trying to bring it back and reopen the gate. Like there was all this stupid shit, and now that's kind of all, you know, dead and gone for the most part. So I think it's time. And though if you don't want to go crazy and do these big ones, you know, go ahead and just scoop up these little ones, right? Like scoop up Eidos. I mean, Crystal, I mean, they're done, right? Like they're not messing with Xbox no more, right? Unless they're helping with something else. But they were working on Perfect Dark, and now that's finito.
I mean, but if they purchase Crystal Dynamics, it might not be finito. It might be a reason for it to come back. If they could purchase Eidos Montreal and Crystal Dynamics in one swoop, probably for like 300 to 400 million, like 200 million a studio.
Yeah, probably for pretty cheap. Yeah, I mean that would be best case scenario. Just get them both. You know, you get the next Tomb Raider, which, you know, we've heard some rumors about.
What is
Tomb Raider.
going on with the whole Tomb Raider thing? Because I thought they sold the Tomb Raider rights to someone else, and they still get to develop the game.
Yeah, so Amazon has the right to publish the game. Like I think that's what it is. So Amazon is the publisher of the game, and then you know, Crystal Dynamics is still making it. You know, they're the dev. Everything is normal on their end.
Yeah, is Amazon's gaming division still up? I thought they got rid of like damn near all of it. That'd be interesting to see if they're still in the publishing game.
That is a good question. I don't know if there was any announcement of whether or not the announcements from Amazon kind of getting out of a lot of this, whether that affected the publishing deal. Yeah, I don't think Amazon owns any rights. I think they just got the deal to go ahead and publish. I think that's just what it was. So we'll see. And I think Amazon probably has the rights to do other shit with the license. Maybe that's what it is, like make movie or TV show or whatever the hell, you know, they might want to make. So, you know, that might be something that is going to be triggered by the release of the new game. You know, release a new game and then all of a sudden announce a TV show, announce a movie, and start tying everything in. But who knows? All right, let me go ahead and take the chapter and move on. Hold on. Okay. All right. So next chapter. I don't know if you saw this. I thought it was interesting that they came out and announced this. Nix's software says Helldivers ready to save storage space on your PC. We've worked together with our friends at Arrowhead GS to reduce the Helldivers 2 PC installation size from 154 gigabytes to 23 gigabytes. That's a massive decrease.
Yeah.
Like that's insane. And my question is why?
There has to be so much bloat, like just
like that's crazy to go that far in and keep the same game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's 131 gigabytes gone.
Yeah.
I don't know about all that. That sounds like a lot. Like there has to be some other reason. Why would they work so hard to, like, what does it matter? Right? There's plenty of games that have all that size. Like, what does it matter to Helldivers, to Sony, to PlayStation? Like nobody bought the game and was like, oh shit, it's 154 gigabytes. Fuck this game. Like, I don't think that's a reality.
Yeah. And it's interesting. What's the technical beta about?
That's a good question. Let me see. Greetings, Helldiver. Check out our newest blog. Let's see. Oh, Helldivers. They have their own little. Okay, let's see what they say. It's on Steam that they put the blog out. All right, this blog post is a follow-up to my previous post about the installation size of the game on PC, which you can find here. Today, I will update you on the progress and reducing the size. Update, we have followed through on our plans and made small reductions in the PC installation size over the last few patches while still adding new content. While this was a good start, our short-term fixes have not been enough to keep up with all the new content in this latest patch. The longer-term goal has always been to bring the PC installation size much closer in line with the console versions. We're happy to report that thanks to our partners at Nixus, we have reached that goal much sooner than expected by completely deduplicating our data. We were able to reduce the PC installation size from approximately 154 gigabytes to approximately 23 gigabytes for a total savings of 131 gigabytes, approximately 85%. Excuse me. We have completed several rounds of internal QA and are ready to roll this out to early adopters as a public technical beta. Our testing shows that for the small percentage of players still using mechanical hard disk drives, mission loading times have only increased by a few seconds in the worst cases. This is now live. Only a few seconds difference. Okay, so all right, so basically, are they all right, so let me just read this shit because I'm trying to understand what is even the point. For a few seconds, that's crazy. Further good news, the change in file size will result in minimal changes to load time, seconds at most. Wait a minute, I hear you ask. Didn't you just tell us that you duplicate data because the loading times on hard drives could be 10 times worse? I am pleased to say that our worst case projections did not come to pass. These loading time projections were based on industry data comparing the loading times between SSD and HDD users where data duplication was and was not used. In the worst cases, a 5-time difference was reported between instances that used duplication and those that did not. We were being very conservative and doubled the projection again to account for unknowns or unknowns. What the fuck? All right. So this is all about loading times?
Yeah, so basically it sounds like what they did was they had multiple copies of the same data in the install file so that the game would load as fast as possible. And then they realized they didn't need all that data and they stripped 85% of it. So the game is just doesn't have all that duplication data inside of it. That's what I'm reading it as.
Okay, so then this is literally just like because they mentioned wanting to bring it closer to the console version, and I mean that's a drastic difference, but apparently maybe I get it. So they were hearing from PlayStation that the magical SSD was needed to make the game load. So they were like, a regular hard drive, what? There's no way that it could be fast. So let's do all this other crap. And then they were like, oh no, it's almost the same. Let's go ahead and get rid of all that shit. I guess they were fed the BS too, and now they've seen the light and they don't need it. honestly, I didn't really think that this was going to be about this. I thought it was going to be something a little more interesting as to how it got down there. But the fact that they just duplicate it over and over again, and now they got rid of the duplications. I mean, it makes sense that now it's so much smaller if they reduced it by that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is kind of not a thing. So, all right. Well, anything else on that? I definitely thought there would be a little more intrigue on this, but it's just some random ass shit.
No, I mean, I'm happy for the gamers, you know, because, you know, who wants all their hard drive space to be taken up, you know, by one game? So happy for them. But yeah, I don't really have much to say about it outside of that.
All right. Well, let's move on from that shit show to another shit show, but I guess better. We got a nice little update about Marathon. Supposedly the Marathon art theft issue has been resolved as artist Anti-Real reaches agreement with Bungie and Sony. And in the post here, they say the controversy has been resolved. They reached an agreement. And this all stems from the problem that had happened. So let me get out of here. Artist Anti-Real says that Marathon's art studio has been resolved with Bungie and Sony, closing months of controversy around stolen in-game assets. There's a new update on the Marathon art theft controversy. Earlier this year, independent artist Fern Anti-Real Hook accused Bungie of using her 2017 graphic design work in Marathon's closed alpha build without permission, credit, or payment. Side-by-side comparisons showed in-game decals and signage that looked identical to her posters, which kicked off a serious debate about how the studio handles outside art. Bungie eventually responded through the Marathon dev team account and admitted that her work had been used without permission. Jesus, this website is horrible. The studio said a former employee added her designs to a texture sheet that later made its way into the alpha build. Franchise art director Joseph Cross followed up with a direct apology on stream, calling it inexcusable and promising a full review of Marathon's art assets along with plans to do right by the artist. Now there's a new update from the artist herself. In a new post on X, Anti-Real told followers that the Marathon art issue has been settled. The message comes directly from her official account and is the first clear sign that talks between her, Bungie, and Sony Interactive Entertainment have reached some kind of agreement. This means the dispute that started with those viral comparison posts is now closed from her side. We still do not know what the resolution looks like behind the scenes. It could be payment, credit, future work, or something else entirely, but none of that has been shared publicly. What we do know is that the person whose work was at the center of this controversy says she is satisfied with the outcome. The post is her official tweet is the Marathon art issue has been resolved with Bungie and Sony Interactive Entertainment to my satisfaction. And that's it. So we don't know why, like we don't know how it was fixed. We don't know, you know, if they offered her, you know, money, if they offered her, you know, credit, if they offered her a job, if they, like, we don't know anything. That was the way that the payment went down or the settlement went down. But I can tell you that we saw some leaked footage of the playtest recently. Actually last week we talked about it. Yeah. And goddamn, what a shit show. Like, doesn't look great. I think the least of their concerns at this point is this art that was taken off, because it didn't look great even when the art was there. Now
back on the wall now.
Not slapping back on the walls, I guess. Now they're gonna pay for it. I mean, that'd be the easiest thing, right? But I don't know. This was not a good look at all to begin with, right? I don't think settling it goes ahead and makes it go away, right? The fact that a first party platform holder went ahead and had a development studio that they own go ahead and publish a beta that had stolen art is to that degree is crazy. It's different if you find like, you know, some artist was being cheeky and put like some piece of art hidden somewhere, you know, one little piece of art, and it gets called out and it's like, oh shit, look what you did. It's like, okay, that was one artist doing one little thing. But like the fact that they just put that shit, it was everywhere. You know what I'm saying? It was everywhere. And now it's just so barren. You know?
Yeah.
They relied so heavily on that art that now without it, it's like there's not even anything there. It just looks like a wasteland. I don't know. I don't think this helps. I mean, I'm happy for her that she got whatever she got that she's happy with. It can only be money. I don't see how you're happy with anything other than that. But I mean, what do you think about this, Farrell? Does this turn the corner for Marathon? Does this put a dark past behind it and allows it now to move forward with no ill will towards it, and now maybe it can try to impress us in other ways, or is it fucked regardless? Like, what do you think?
I mean, if you put rainbow sprinkles on pig shit, it's still pig shit. So that's basically what this is. I am happy for the artist that she got, reimbursed for her stolen artwork in a way that she is satisfied, but it doesn't do much for the overall product that's supposed to be delivered to gamers. Whenever this game is supposed to drop. And I don't think it helps Bungie with Marathon. I think Marathon is still doomed at this rate to its fate of being like just a subpar game that Sony feels the need that they have to charge you $40 for that no one's going to support.
Yeah, I mean, again, I kind of echo the same thing, right? Like, I'm glad that she's getting hers, right? She has whatever compensation she got, but I just don't see. I don't think this helps them. I guess it can't hurt them. I guess it can't do anything but help them, but I just don't see how they would get the help. Like, the game itself still looks ass. I guess they're gonna do another play session. But I don't think that it's like, ultimately, I don't think that it was the graphics or the stolen art or any of that stuff. I just think the game doesn't really look that appealing, right? I don't think it looks that interesting to compete in the games that are out now, in the landscape that is of gaming that we have right now. Arc Raiders is out there killing it. It kind of, I don't know if you guys noticed, but Arc Raiders has this almost viral type marketing that's taken place where you keep seeing people talking about how, like, I keep seeing posts of like, oh man, there was this person that was pretty cool and we didn't shoot each other and we were helping each other, and then the last second I got screwed. Like, no, fuck it is like these rage videos, these rage clips that they post, right, all the time, and it just keeps circulating. Like, they have, like, they found this thing that is, in this world that I did not at any point in time when I was playing Arc Raiders did I ever think to be like, hey, maybe that guy's peaceful. You know what I'm saying? Like, I come in peace, right? Like, no, like, anytime I saw anybody, it was like, I gotta kill you or you're gonna kill me. Like, that's the only way. But like, there's like this circle of people who are now like treating this game like a world where they're like, hey, are you friendly before we shoot each other? Like, if you don't just immediately shoot, I'm not gonna immediately shoot. And then these videos just come up of getting betrayed and backstabbed. It's pretty crazy how it is. So I don't see Marathon coming out and making any waves, bro. Like, zero waves. I can't. I can't even imagine them having like a strong opening weekend.
No, I think it's going to be like Concord, where they pretty much force their employees to play the game to make the numbers look okay on Steam, but I don't think anybody's really going to support this game. I think even if you drop this game in Game Pass, it wouldn't do great. Like if they did it, like if they tried to do like an Outriders thing to save it, I don't think that would make it. If they dropped it in their own service, I don't think it would save the game. I just think the game just has too many issues.
I think that's the truth. I think that at the end of the day, it's not interesting to me. You got the homie Mac22TH in the building with that $2 super chat. Appreciate you, fam. Says Marathon needed to come out before Arc Raiders. DOA.
It need to come out before Destiny.
I don't know what could have happened to save this game. Pragmatic says Microsoft is stupid if they pay to put this crap in Game Pass. Yeah. Hold on, real quick. Is this a paid game? Like, are people?
Yes, it's $40. I think,
Yeah.
but they didn't announce the price. But I think it's gonna be the same price as Concord.
Come on, man. That can't be real. That can't be real. Are they really going to charge for this game after seeing what the fuck is happening?
Well, they won't be able to. Believe me, they won't be able to charge people for skins.
Bro, this is a problem. This is a problem because there's no way that the game that I saw on that screen when we were watching it, if you don't know what we're talking about, go watch the last show. There's no way that game equals a game that people are going to be like, yeah, sign me up. I'm going to buy that game. That's crazy. Like, you have $40 in your pocket. Isn't Arc Raiders $40 as well?
It might be.
Okay.
It will be. If it's not, it probably will be by the time this game comes out.
Bro. If you have $40 in your pocket, I don't think you choose a Marathon over fucking Arc Raider, bro.
Nah.
I just don't. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think at the end of the day, this game is fucking done. I think it's done. And even if they release it and some people buy it, they're not gonna have any way to monetize it. Nobody's gonna be buying battle passes for this shit
or skins or all that other, And it's not launching with a story mode, so it's like literally just go on and fight against each other.
Fucking bare bones,
which is fine, but it's like it's a bare bones. It's not gonna have a ton of maps. Like the maps they have look like shit. So, I mean, what you think they have 20 of those? I mean, they could, but you would hate all of them. So, I don't know. Well, that game, it needs a lot. It doesn't even need a lot of work. It kind of needs like a reboot almost, like another 3-4 years of development where they gotta just get to rework the whole art of the game.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest problem is that I just don't think that there's a version of this game that can be made at this point. I don't think rebooting it. I don't think starting from the beginning, starting from scratch, you would literally be just completely making a brand new, completely different game that has nothing to do with this. Honestly, the best bet they could have made is to work out a single player game. It should have been Marathon should have been their single player game and Destiny is their multiplayer game. That's two different games. Make a single player game, make something cool, and then go ahead and try to keep Destiny alive. But you heard that rumor. I don't know if you heard the rumor, but the rumor is that Destiny 3 has started development.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Early. I can't believe that one.
Even if they do another Destiny, I think Destiny was kind of like it had its moment, and if they made a Destiny 3 right now, it would kind of feel like a rush job. Like it wasn't something that they truly intended on doing. So I'm not sure if even like the Destiny 3 name would carry as much weight because people invested so much time into Destiny 2. I don't know if they're ready to jump right back into a Destiny 3 that isn't going to measure up to what Destiny 2 was when they first, when they last played it.
Well, especially considering that everybody who mattered to the Destiny franchise is gone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they're completely gutted Bungie, and like the people who cared about the Destiny franchise are no longer there. So it's kind of like, what the why? Like, I don't think there's any, like, that's a rumor that came out and there's literally no hype. Nobody's posting like, oh man, I hope this is true. I do hear people say they should have just made Destiny 3 instead of making this, but that would have been assuming that their original team was still there from Destiny. The people who gave a shit were still there, but that's dead and gone, dude.
And all the people who said they should have just made Destiny 3, none of them are hype for potential Destiny 3. They just acknowledge they would have been better off making Destiny 3 than they are making this.
And I think that's literally what you said is right. Like, they're not hyped for it. They want to be hyped, right? Yeah. So you come out, you say we're making Destiny 3 and you show us something fire, then maybe get people back on the boat. But I just think that the story, everything they had going is just, I think they're just done with it, which is crazy because that was like, I don't know how many people are still playing on PC. I know that it was for a while before still consistently like 30,000 or something like that. Like there was still, a good amount of people.
Yeah.
But I don't know how many people are still playing Destiny 2 right now. And it's clear it doesn't seem like they are going crazy. It doesn't seem like they're doing anything exciting right now.
Apparently they just announced a new DLC for Destiny 2, but even that didn't get a lot of hype. Like, kind of heard about it, but at the same time, it's not like when you heard about the other expansions. So it's like people are kind of like, it's like their comfort game, but it's not necessarily like the dominant game that people are playing anymore in that space.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, it's a different world. And I just don't think there's a place for it. I frankly don't know if there's a place for Bungie anymore in it. Just not this Bungie, that original Bungie, the ones that came up with these ideas and implemented it. Yeah, they were not the Halo team, but they were the Destiny team. At least there was a chance. And it's funny that this whole time we heard about this other game that they were making and it just turned out to be Marathon, which was like, Jesus, can't believe that that's the reality of what it was. All right. Let me, let's move on. Let me get my chapter. Here we go. Okay. So this was interesting. There was a post by Jeff Keighley, posting a picture and saying some random shit, and then he did another post with a map and a mark on the map and coordinates of where to go, right? And somebody went over there and found this statue, like literally in the world, in real life.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of rumors that were thrown about. People, this is for the Game Awards, obviously, right? So this is like some hype shit for a Game Awards announcement. So there's been like 3 rumors that kind of came out, and then they all kind of been squashed at some point. So the first rumor was for, well, I don't know if it's the first one, but one of the rumors was for God of War, that the new God of War was going to be announced. And some of this, like if you look at some of the armor and you look at some of the creatures and shit over here, there's a Diablo like looking figure there. Some people thought the armor and stuff looked like God of War, but Cory Borlaug officially came out and said, no, it's not God of War. So that got squashed. And then I don't know who squashed it, but there was an idea of Diablo 4 having some type of update surrounding this, which I gotta tell you, when I heard that, I thought that was the stupidest shit ever. I mean, maybe it is, but I guess the rumor kind of been squashed. People are saying it's not, but I don't know why. I don't think an update is ever gonna do huge numbers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like this big hype of it would be, I think, a waste. So I don't think a Diablo 4 expansion was gonna get this over here. And then other people, another rumor was Elder Scrolls 6, which, you know, the idea would line up as far as like, you know, oh, this is, you know, grand and a cool way to try to, you know, announce it. But I don't think it really lines up with like Elder Scrolls. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
Oblivion, but that would be like specifically Oblivion. And even then, it wasn't necessarily like, I don't know, not like that.
Yeah, just a new IP.
Well, that's what it is. But who? I guess the question is, who will go ahead, and do all of this for a brand new IP? Like, I feel like the sentiment was right. I feel like you look at a God of War, you look at a Diablo, you look at an Elder Scrolls, because this investment in the hype will be, you know, it's paying off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know that when you finally drop the news, people are gonna, you know, lose their shit and be like, oh wow, that's so cool, and this is there. But I don't know. It looks cool, it looks dope, but again, when you see what's actually happening, you know, there's nothing that really says like, hey, this is, you know, this is from this game. It looks like a lot of different games, but it's not. So Jason Schreier was the one, by the way, who said it's not Diablo 4. So he says the mysterious statue teased for Game Awards is not for Diablo 4. He says, quote, I don't currently plan on reporting what it is. Sorry, but it's a good one. And I think that's, you know, gotten a lot of people hyped for it, because and check it out what it looks like. That's obviously, this is during the day, but then over here you go and you see, like, I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what that symbol is. Obviously, shit like Diablo and things like that makes sense to me, right? When you see that, it looks like that would check out.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Do you have any guesses or thoughts of what it may be?
Don't. I mean, I do think it might be an Xbox property. But if it is, I would think it might be something new. I did have an idea that popped in my head, but it just escaped just as fast as it came.
Ooh, I see one.
What's that?
Trey Bone, Hellblade.
I thought about Hellblade at one point in time, and what was the other one I thought of? I was thinking, you know, could be a little off the wall, but E-Day maybe.
Gears of War.
Like, could be like a gate that you got to go through. Like, I think you're gonna see this gate in whatever said game is. So, I mean, this could be the Hive. This could be the first gate the Hive breaks through when they, you know, come through the Earth or whatever. So,
is this? Let's go in a different direction. Is this gonna open up, and the new Xbox console is inside of it?
hey, that is fine. Well, I don't think the console will be there because they usually don't have the physical device there when they announce it. But I mean, I'm not gonna say it's impossible, but I wouldn't think it's likely.
I mean, it would be crazy. What was the thing that he said? Let me see if I could find his actual. I had it. I think I saved it somewhere where he posted it. He said it was like 3 words. I don't know if you guys remember what he posted when he posted the first picture. Jesus, I can't find it now. Jeff, where are you? Where are you, Jeff? Nope. I don't remember the words that he posted. He posted like 3 words. It was some random shit. But if we take it away from the gaming, maybe if I go here, let me see. Jeff Keighley, let's see what he said. He posted this thing. Regal, inspiring thickness. Regal, inspiring thickness. So it's Regal. Here, I have it right here. I'll share it. So he put Regal, period, inspiring, period, thickness.
R-I-T?
R-I-T. Ritz?
I just see the period, so I'm thinking
Regal,
R-I.
inspiring, thickness. The fuck can that be?
I think it's the
Regal,
acronym. I think it's R-I-T.
R-I-T?
Yeah, I don't know what that could stand for, but
the chat thinks it's going to be a Sony product.
could be.
Big Jones says it could be Saros. Man, this would be a lot of work.
Be a lot of work for mid game
for a small IP.
Yeah, I mean, because Returnal didn't do any numbers, regardless of what you think the game is good or bad. It just didn't sell particularly well.
Facts. I think that would be a waste, to be honest with you. I don't know. And then to put it in to put it in the real world, I don't know. So Powerball sent me something called Armaris Mora from Elder Scrolls. I really don't think that looks like it though to me. I'll share this real quick with you guys. That's the Armaris Mora. And I don't know. It doesn't quite look like it, like that symbol. This one here. That doesn't look the same. Like I wouldn't put them together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
More Pocket says Hexen.
Well, Hexen is one of the shirts that Phil was wearing, but I don't think that game will come out this soon.
I feel like so. This is the way I would say, and let me know if you guys agree. And Farrell, you do the same. But I honestly don't think this is a brand new IP. I don't think this is some new, new idea that's coming out of nowhere that they're gonna put this much energy into. I think they want people looking for they want them scouring the thing and taking a look and seeing what they can find, what Easter eggs are on there, what can they do to see what this game is. So I think that this is 100% an IP that already exists. It just doesn't make any sense to me to be otherwise. I think this has to be a sequel or a prequel or something in the lineage. You know what I'm saying? I don't see them going ahead and being like, oh yeah, we're gonna do all of this, and it could be a game that gets announced and like nobody gives a fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, does that make sense? I feel like it has to be something that exists already that people are instantly gonna lose their fucking minds for. And Jason Schreier says it's a good one, right? Like he says he's not going to reveal it, that it's a good one. A good one means something that people are excited for and they're going to be pumped to see it. I don't think a good one is a cool looking IP, because I think that's already like, this is too much for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A good looking
Something about
IP.
Something about Gates of Hell. So that's kind of like the perception I get from it. So I don't think it will quite be Hellblade, but I do think it has, any game that has a hellish theme, I think is kind of up there. I don't think, Doom would be one, of course, but yeah, I think it's going to be something that has like a kind of like hellish theme that maybe we haven't seen in a while. Because I mean, that gate feels like something that's going to be like in the game, that like it's a place that you're going to go to.
Agreed. I 100% concur with that. The fact that they have it all lit up over here, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It has to be something we know that's going to make us excited. And if it's not, I'm going to be really disappointed. Like, it can't just be some new, like, it would have to be the dopest shit if it's new. You know what I'm saying? Like, like if it's completely new, like unheard of, and we don't know, like, it would have to be new. So, like, I see, like, Trey Bone just said, like, Darksiders. Maybe, but I feel like that's not that big of an IP to put this song and dance for. You know what I'm saying? So, like, Be Nice says Witcher 4, but we already kind of saw The Witcher 4, so it's kind of like, I don't know how much that's going to work. He said Legacy of Kain. Again, another game that, yeah, that's cool, but I don't know how big that is now. Like, Elder Scrolls 6 would have been, the best one, right? Because that would have been like, holy shit, what a fucking, like, that's worth it. That's going to go crazy. But I don't know. Any other Powerballs, I saw the other one, so that's like, I guess, another part of it that maybe it's on there. But I also saw people showing things that look just like God of War. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, people were posting pictures of God of War in the thing, and like, look, this is like his armor. This is like this creature that he killed and shit like that. Like, I don't know. It would have to be something that's impactful, that they know 100% would leave a crazy impact immediately when they announce it. Like, when they reveal what it is, it would be like across the board, everybody's gonna be pumped for it. And I just don't know what that is. The ones that we thought it would be are not, right? Like a God of War, if this was gonna be their first big next gen God of War, finally showing it, boom, fine. Maybe I guess theoretically, the furthest this could be stretched is if it's from a studio who is like super well renowned, like that was like holy shit, and this is like their first game in a while, or like something like that. That's still a brand new game that hasn't been announced yet, but it's from like from a studio that you're gonna get, go crazy for, maybe. But outside of that, I can't think. So, Trey Bone put something Elden Ring. I mean, these motherfuckers need to slow down with their Elden Ring.
I mean,
they just
it could be Elden Ring. I wouldn't put it past
came out with the multiplayer game.
Yeah, with the Night Rain.
Yeah, and then they got another. Remember, they're working on their Switch exclusive.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm saying, like, that's the type of game that it could be. But if they had more Elden Ring content that fast, I mean, that would be impressive. I
mean, it would be, but also it would be like, all right, something's going on over there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like it's too much. It's too much. Something's going on. So, look, at the end of the day, kind of is what it is. We'll see. I mean, it's coming up pretty soon. What is it? It's not next week, the following week.
Yeah, next Thursday, I think.
Yeah, so not this upcoming Thursday. No, right? It's the 14th. What's today?
Today is the
second. No, next Tuesday is the 9th.
Maybe 7 days from now. So if today's the second, it'd be the 9th. So yeah, next week.
Next Thursday. Oh shit. Okay. So that's happening. Oh, Quake. That's a possibility, Treybone. That's a real good possibility. Quake, that fits in the aesthetic. I think Quake is a big IP. I think we knew that Quake was coming, and it might be. That might be the one that's closest to actually matching the possibility for sure. I think. Yeah, when I look at that, Quake, out of everything, it's Quake. I think they already crossed out Elder Scrolls Powerballs. That's why I'm not going too deep in it. Like somebody somewhere squashed the idea of Elder Scrolls 6. That Kami guy, what's his name? Kami, he put in his post, he already X'd out the 3 choices. He X'd out Elder Scrolls 6. He X'd out God of War, and he X'd out Diablo 4. So, that's the only reason I'm going by it. Like, I don't know exactly where he got his sources from, but I'm at this point just going based off the fact that he put he put the X through it. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. So I mean, I guess we'll see. It's next week. We'll know what's up, and we'll be able to kind of, take it from there, and see what's what it comes to be. See if any of us were right, but we'll see. All right. This is going to be our last one here. So let me get this chapter and we will move on. Here. Okay. Now, last chapter. We now have the final update of the year for Game Pass. That's right. Xbox went ahead. They put out a tweet and they put out this Xbox Wire, and this is it. This is the way the year is ending for Game Pass. There'll be no more updates for the year. January they'll be back, but for the rest of the year, this is what we have in December to finish us out. So Xbox Wire says, coming to Xbox Game Pass, Mortal Kombat 1, Death Howl, Dome Keeper, Routine, and more. Says, happy December, friends. There have been so many incredible games this year, and to pass the time as you're waiting to see who makes it to the stage to snag their award, check out our collection of the Game Award nominees. While this is our only coming soon Wire post for December, we'll be back at it as usual in the next year with more games. For now, let's get to what's coming soon and available today. All right, so available today, a game that actually I was very intrigued with and wanted to play, but never got around to it, is Lost Records, Bloom and Rage. That's coming out on Game Pass Ultimate, Game Pass Premium, and PC Game Pass. And there's a cool thing that they added to this list that we'll see it at one point, and we'll be able to talk about it. But yes, this is pretty cool. That's available today, so that's now good to go. You can go play this on your Ultimate subscription now. If you don't know what it is, embark on a new narrative journey by the creators of Life is Strange. Film your summer of 1995 and create memories of a lifetime with your new friends. 27 years later, confront the dark secrets that made you all promise to never speak again after that fateful summer. Sounds intriguing to me. Looking forward to checking it out at some point. Coming soon, Monster Train 2. That's going to be coming to Game Pass Premium. So I also like that as they go on with this, you're getting it to different places. So they're updating you across the board. It's not just Game Pass Ultimate. Game Pass Ultimate, if you're a premium member, you got games coming, which is cool, right? Everybody gets a little love. So Monster Train 2 is on premium. Powerful beings known as Titans have seized control of heaven. A makeshift alliance is formed between former angels and demons who must learn to work together against their common foe. Now you must command these clans aboard newly forged trains and embark on your journey through hell, heaven, and the abyss to defeat the Titans before they destroy this world. Sounds cool. Spray Paint Simulator is also out with Game Pass Premium. By the way, that's going to be December 3rd. So December 3rd, tomorrow, is Monster Train 2. Also Spray Paint Simulator, which obviously you know what spray Paint Simulator games are going to be. 33 Immortals game preview is also coming to Game Pass Premium. If you missed it, you could check out our review of the early access that they have. It's dope. It's dope. It's a fun game. If you haven't checked it out, you should definitely check it out. It's a very, very I would say unique game where you kind of get to play with multiple people, but on a 2D game. It's like, I don't know, kind of like a Hades, but not. I don't know. It's pretty dope. You gotta try it out yourself to kind of get a feel for it, but it's definitely dope. So 33 Immortals, it's a co-op action roguelike for 33 players. Play as a damsel and rebel against God's final judgment. Dive straight into epic 33 player co-op battles with instant pickup and raid matchmaking. Cooperate with your allies to survive against hordes of monsters and massive challenging bosses. Expand your arsenal and equip powerful new relics to permanently upgrade your souls. It's dope. Definitely check it out. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is coming to premium. So there's that new IP that's dropping into Game Pass Premium, which is dope. New game from Xbox. Obviously, we already know what that is. Excuse me. They also have the update that released on there. So if you haven't checked out the expansion, definitely do. It's dope as well. This is a big one. This is the one that I was waiting for. It comes out December 4th. Very, very excited for this. And that is Routine. It's coming to Game Pass Ultimate and PC Game Pass. It's a day one drop. So this is a day one release in Game Pass. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a first-person sci-fi horror set on an abandoned lunar base designed around an 80s vision of the future. Explore and investigate your surroundings as you survive against unknown threats. This one is actually sick. I wish did they link to like a video or something? Excuse me. No. I mean, technically, there's a video here. I can show you this.
Yeah, it should look legit.
Right? Right? Oh. It looks really good. Yeah, attention to detail, man. These are like Raw Fury is publishing. Look at how good this looks.
That water looks amazing.
Doesn't it? You hear that singing?
Yeah.
Got you. So yeah. Needless to say, looks dope, right? Looks dope. Very, very happy with that.
Looks like a lot of jump scares.
Yep. Get ready, because it's going down. Am I stuck in this place? I can't get out now. Where was I? All right, that's okay. I'll come here. Yeah. So routine that is coming out on the 4th. Looks amazing. Thursday. It's probably going to be probably going to play that game Thursday night. Looks super sick. Actually, you might even play Lost Records as well. We'll see. So that looks great. And then a game about digging a hole. This game I saw on like PC, and it did like really, really well. And it's literally a game like you're just digging a hole and like how far down you can go. And
sounds like a PC game.
It sounds like a PC game, but it's coming to Game Pass December 9th. And this is the word.
Yeah, I never seen first time seeing that designation, handheld.
Yeah, so what that means, and they say it later on at the end, but basically that just means that the game is optimized for handheld.
Yep.
So not that you can't play anything else on your handheld, but this is like legit optimized for the handheld.
Yeah.
Then you got Death Howl coming out, another day one game. Journey through the sorrowful spirit world in a Souls-like deck builder. Craft cards and claim powerful totems to defeat the woeful spirits lurking in the mystical lands. Unravel the tale of a grieving mother in her desperate attempt to defy death and bring back her son. I mean, the story sounds cool. I'm not like a card building, like a card builder fan.
Yeah.
I don't really know what this is. I feel like I'm getting that power boss was fucking with this play. That's it? What the hell happened? I thought it was like a minute.
That was a quick trailer.
Coming to top 2026. Coming to consoles 2026. Wait. Where was I? Consoles. Where is this dropping? Oh yeah, handheld and PC. All right, so that's a PC game. Okay,
Yeah.
so you can play it on your handheld, you can play it on your PC. But okay, so it's coming to console next year, but this is available for PC and handheld. I think if you're into the deck builders, that might be something that is cool. I mean, I'll try it. I'll see how it goes. But you know, it's not typically my type of game, but that's the beauty of Game Pass. You try it out, see if you like it, see if you don't. Dome Keeper is coming out December 9th. Defend against waves of alien monsters, unique roguelike action miner, dig for resources, collect useful gadgets, and upgrade equipment to increase odds of survival. Just hurry back before your dome is destroyed. And then Mortal Kombat 1, December 10th. It's Ultimate, Premium, and PC Game Pass. This has been out for a little while, but if you're, if you haven't played it yet, great to get it. Bratz for the kids. If you got kids, there's a Bratz game, Rhythm and Style, December 11th. And then, recently they had a big drop too, which is Clover Pit came out, which looked very interesting when I first saw it. But I was like, I don't know what this is. And then we played it during We Doing It Live, and man, was it really, really good. So if you haven't tried it out, check it out. Go play it. If you don't know how it is or how it plays and you want to get an idea, go check out our video. I broke it off too, so you could just watch the video for Clover Pit. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And then yesterday, Marvel Cosmic Invasion dropped, which is huge. So shout out to Xbox for scooping this up. Available on day one with Game Pass. And I did get hands-on with this at Summer Games Fest this past year, and I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was very good. So yeah, I think that's a W, and it's there, so go play it. Total Chaos is another game that came out. It was a day one with Game Pass. It was actually a shadow drop when we watched the Xbox partner preview, as well as Clover Pit was also a shadow drop. But this was a day one game, and it was amazing. I played it. Very, very scary. Was very, very good. But Farrell, you don't like the scares, right?
No, I love scary movies. I mean, scary games.
Oh, you
scary
like
movies and scary games. Yeah.
Have you tried Total Chaos yet?
No, I haven't.
Gotta try it. It's real good. It's real good. And it has like, I'm a big fan of like minute controls. So like, if I want to walk like at a super slow pace, I want to be able to do that. If I want to walk faster, I want that entire range of motion. A lot of times, some of these things you just, there's like two speeds is like slow and then fast, or a less detailed difference between them. Where this one does that. So like I love feeling like I could peek around a corner slowly. And it feels so good, and it is creepy. It does have some puzzle stuff. The stream, the guys watching the stream with me while I was playing did help me out. So but it was definitely good. Young Sons, that's coming out game preview on Game Pass Ultimate, Cloud, Console, and PC. It's another day one game with Xbox Game Pass. Nobody fends for themselves in this multiplayer narrative life sim set around Jupiter. In an optimistic alternate future, fly your ship through the Jovian system and help the friendly citizens rebuild after a revolution. Liberation takes work. Join the developers in the community as the game evolves in game preview. I don't even know what this is. Young Sons. Do you know what that is off the top?
Nope, I do not. But it looks a little interesting.
I mean,
a little art style. No, I think I remember seeing this before, like in one of the Xbox events.
That looks pretty dope, actually. That's pretty cool. I mean, you can fly a ship. It seems pretty interesting, and that also just cut off for no reason. I don't know what. Looks dope. Looks dope. I mean, can't be mad at it, right? Day one Game Pass. Try it out. If it hooks you, great. If it does it, no sweat off your back. But that's real cool. And that came out already. I didn't even notice that one. Wow. And then they got Game Pass Essential subscribers. They got some more games coming over there. Stellaris, World War Z, Aftermath, and Medieval Dynasty are going to Essential, which is the lowest tier of Game Pass. But you got some new games coming, which is cool. Obviously, there's some game updates. CFDs Season 18. Which they've done a lot of updates to CFDs. I didn't even realize. Like our son he likes pirate ships and such, and he's been playing them on in Roblox. He'll go and he'd be playing these games that they make in there with pirate ships and stuff, and he's out there sailing the seas. So I put on CFDs for him, and he liked it a lot, but he couldn't, like, it's a little more, it's too complex, to sail the ships and lower the things and do all that stuff. He's not quite there yet. But you know, it just me doing it. Like he wanted me to play because it was too much for him, but he liked to see it. And it's like they did a lot of updates, and you could now just go into your own world. Like you could just go in there and not worry about anybody else and just play the game with no fear of getting attacked or any of that shit.
Yeah.
So that is that's pretty dope. I do see the homie Torino Johnson. What's up, man? He says, did you play more Winterboro? I'm addicted to it now. I'm almost at the end, but I don't want to end it yet. I gain more tools and crafting items to keep from freezing. Oh, that's dope. No, I haven't. I gotta, like I said, I said it earlier, but right now I haven't really been playing anything outside of Mario Galaxy, Super Mario Galaxy. I promised my son that I would play it because it's one of his favorite games, and you know I don't really like the game, so I wanted to at least play through it, beat it, so that we can be on the same page and be able to talk about it. So I've been playing that pretty much nonstop. It's a lot longer than I thought it was going to be.
Mario games ain't nothing to joke with.
I kind of thought it was going to be shorter, but I'm towards the end. Pretty sure I need like 14 more stars or some shit like that. So I'm almost there, and then I'll be back into playing all these other things. But I gotta get it done. So but yes, I do want to return to that. I do want to try that play that again. It was really, really good. All right, so Sea of Thieves got a new update, so good on them, rocking out. Dead by Daylight, they have their Bone Chill event that's starting out. Power World Home Sweet Home update, which is dope. I gotta get back. I gotta try Power World again. I haven't played in so long. I wonder how
it looks now. Yeah,
because it was really fun. We really, really had a good time playing it. So so yeah, that's happening. And then you got your in-game benefits: PUBG, Delta Force, The Crew Motorsport. And then if you're looking to play some of the games that are leaving, or if you want to scoop them up before they go, you can save 20% by purchasing them before they go. On December 15th, you got Mortal Kombat 11, which obviously makes sense. Mortal Kombat 1's coming in, so Mortal Kombat 11 goes out. Still Wakes the Deep. Fantastic game. If you have not played that, it's a fantastic. Have you played it, Farrell? Still Wakes the Deep?
No, it's a game that I wanted to play, but I never got around to.
Bro, just play it real quick, at least a little bit, so you get a feel for it before this shit goes. And then you can decide if you want to buy it or just try to beat it. It's not very long. It's really, really well done. It's really, really good.
I'll check it out. I'll probably sideline something and just play that then.
Yeah, I would definitely suggest trying that out. Wild Frost, I don't know what that is, but that's leaving on the 15th. And then Carry On, which is like this 2D, you're the monster, so you're like killing people, but on this like 2D side scroll. It's pretty cool. I played it, so not bad. And then Hell Let Loose is another one that's leaving. Jaggle6, what's up, man? What's up with the narrow screen? There's actually 2 links, my friend. So you're on the mobile version. So if you were on your phone, it would be full screen. But if you go to the other full screen version, there's another link that you can hop into. Hell Let Loose is a game I keep seeing, and I never I don't know why I never go to like play it. You know what I'm saying? So like I see it, but I don't play it. I don't really know why. It doesn't really call me for some reason. I don't know. But it's in there. I might just say fuck it, let me hop in and see if there's anything I've been missing. And then that's it. And then they're just saying, have a chill December. We'll be back in 2026. Woo. And then this is where they say games with a handheld designation represent those that are optimized for handheld play. So quite the update. A lot of games coming in. I mean, for me, my highlight is very simple. Routine is the game that I was very, very excited for. And that's my December game that I was hoping, that we would get. We had talked about it. It seems like Xbox is not doing a December release of any type like they did last year with Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
But Routine, I feel like that's a dope game to get for Game Pass. So that's my December game. Plus, there's all these other experiences that look pretty cool. I definitely want to play Dig in a Hole. I've seen it. And I was like, oh, I wonder how addictive they could be. You know, like sometimes those type of games come out of nowhere and they're just really fun. So I don't know. We will see. But what about you, man? What did you think of this drop for the month?
I thought it was a pretty strong drop. You know, you got World War Z. I didn't even know what Routine was until you showed me, so that impressed me even more. To see Indiana Jones makes it to premium kind of gives the game, you know, a third wind. Especially after the Game Awards next week, where it might get nominated and win a couple awards, might get people back in the mind of playing it. And Mortal Kombat 1. I mean, I feel like that's like you know, if you wake up on Christmas Day and you have an Xbox with a Game Pass subscription and you get to hop on, that's like one of the first games that, you know, a lot of people might jump on and play and have a good time with. So
Agreed. 100%. Yeah, it's definitely a W, right? Definitely a W in that respect. I do see where is Pragmatic Eagle's been playing Valhalla, and he says, I have no damn idea how this game got so much hate. It's because people are crazy, bro. I love Valhalla. I don't know why people hate on that shit so much, but I enjoyed the hell out of it. And then Trey Bone says that statue could be something Devil May Cry related, or wait for it, Dante's Inferno. That's also a possibility. You ain't wrong. That's definitely a possibility. As far as this Game Pass drop, look, I'm happy with it. I think it's a great end of the year, you know, kind of send off. And you know, we have the Game Awards that are coming next week, so that's going to be cool to see what's coming there. And then then we're in 2026, man. 2026 is going to come before we know it, and
direct season.
We're going to see whatever's new, what's coming for the rest of the year. Like I'm really excited for what we have happening in gaming right now. And again, over here with Game Pass, there's definitely stuff that you guys, if you haven't tried, you should definitely hop in and try. Like Amit Kumar says, Game Pass is the GOAT, is the gift that keeps on giving. And yes, it's a wonderful finale, ending off with what I would say is the big ticket is Routine, right? Obviously, your mileage may vary depending on you. Like if you never played Mortal Kombat 1, that's also a dope game, right? Like there's so many, and then you got other like that Bloom the Lost Records. I don't even think they have it here, but that also dropped. I wanted to play that from a while ago, so that's another one that I'm pumped for. So there's like a lot in here that is very, very cool for me. Anything else on this, Pharaoh, before we head out?
No, just I love to see Game Pass like still going strong and still giving us, you know, like great quality titles. So great way to finish off the year.
I agree. All right, guys, that is going to do it for us here at On Point for this Tuesday Night Quest. Guys, thank you so much for rocking out with us. Thank you for bearing with me. I know I was coughing and stuff. I'm still getting over being sick, but I definitely wanted to have this show and come out and hang out with you guys. So thank y'all so much for rocking out with us. Thank you to everybody who support us over on Patreon and YouTube. Your support means everything to us. We do appreciate it. Thank you for everybody who super chatted and who was here. You guys are the shit. So thank y'all so very much. Of course, my boy Pharaoh in the building. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for rocking out with us. Appreciate you. Why don't you let everybody know where to find you, what you got going on?
All right. You guys can find me right here on YouTube. What is it? Vitamin G Podcast. Right here on YouTube. We typically go live on Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can follow my personal channel where I periodically put out content like on things that kind of interest me that are going on in the gaming industry. So yeah, go ahead, like, subscribe, follow, and I look forward to seeing you guys.
Awesome, man. Absolutely, man. Make sure you go follow our boy Pharaoh, support him. He's so awesome and appreciate him being here. Guys, thank you again. Remember, we'll be back on Thursday night, 8 p.m. with We Doing It Live. there's going to be quite a few games to play. So we will see, and then I'll see what is the multiplayer game that we're going to do and try out. So we will see that as well. But that'll be at 8 o'clock. And then Friday night, we'll be back with the night shift Let's All Gaming with our homies Demo and Hargeet Chani. Guys, thank you all again. Do me a favor, if you are here right now, make sure once this ends, go back and leave a comment on the show. Let us know what you thought about the show. Appreciate you guys putting it here in the chat, but it means a lot also if you put it in the comments of the show.
And hype button.
Yeah, appreciate it. And Game Shark, let me know the multi if you'd like to join up. Hell yeah, brother. I'll let you know. It'll be in the Discord. I'll try to pick it out earlier than like 5 minutes before, but I'll let you guys know for sure. But thank you all for your support. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate y'all. And with that, we're going to go ahead and end the show the way we end every single show. Doodle! We're done. Until next time, you're intruding.